Welcome back, gamers, to the final episode of the SlowrunCast for 2024. And it is, as my wife hates to hear, a special episode because today is our first annual SlowrunCast Game of the Year episode. And of course, it wouldn't be complete without my friend and co host, Derwin Luke, or as I prefer to have called him the last 4 months, the Derwinator. And of
Is
course,
this really going to be our last episode for the year, or
what day is it today?
it's technically the 22nd?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm motivated to do an episode on the 29th of December, I'll be honest with you. And I don't think anything's going to happen this week. I think
All
you could
right,
wait till the next week. I don't think anything will happen the week after that, or the week after that, or the week after that.
Ju- just watch you jinx it, and like something big comes out.
Listen, if something big comes up, of course. But I promise you nothing's going to happen on the 29th or the 5th.
Hey,
And then the
maybe
12th could be our
Ubisoft will just
predictions
dissolve.
episode. The 19th could be our most anticipated games, and nothing will happen.
Just watch Ubisoft just dissolve itself right on the 29th.
Over the
And
Christmas break. Over the Christmas break.
yeah,
It'll be funny, yeah.
how's your break been? You have it off now, right?
I've been off for like 2 days. Last day of work was Friday. So it's just been a regular weekend so far. Talk to me a week and I'll let you know.
Yeah, and then tomorrow you become a degenerate and you're just up until
Yeah, I
3 a.m.
wish,
again.
dude. My wife decided it's time to put my toddler in a bed, and you can't just put a toddler in a bed; they'll just climb right out of it. So I literally just spent the last 2 hours right beside my toddler in bed, just waiting for him to fall asleep, so I could sneak out and do this. That's why we're doing this at what time is it? 11:15. Jeez, man.
Yeah, 11:15. Late episode. We're burning the midnight oil for this one.
Yeah. Listeners, if you are joining us on YouTube or Spotify or Apple, please don't forget to ring the bell to remind you when the episode comes, because eventually I want to stop posting it on Instagram every time it comes out. And don't forget to like and share if you like what you're listening. And if you're joining us for the first time, I am your host, Muhammad Ali, aka the Iraqi Balboa,
Yeah.
and of course, joined by Derwin. And go back and listen to some of the other episodes if you want to catch up on some of the news from this year. But this is not going to be our regular format, where this is a special episode. So if you like what you're hearing, I'm sorry to break it to you, it's not going to be this fun every week. But
No.
no.
We're up in the ante. This is a special episode because Mo is gonna sing some more Post Malone this time,
Oh, yeah,
except for his
exactly.
new country songs.
I actually was listening to Post Malone the other day after that clip. I'm like, I wonder what Post Malone's been up to. I haven't heard this guy in years. But I don't know if I could. Plus, my voice is so close to his, we're gonna get copyright
Yeah.
strikes. So,
You
all right,
just
man, you
need to
excited for
get the
this?
face tattoos.
Yeah, I don't know about those. He pulls them off somehow, but I don't think the average human being does.
That's for sure.
Yeah. So you got your list already?
Yeah. So why don't you tell the listeners what we're doing today?
So, folks, I mean, there's a lot of outlets that have Game of the Year episodes, a lot of video game podcasts that do Game of the Year. So I thought, you know what, we got to bring something different to the table. And I thought, well, you know what? There's a couple of categories that nobody ever talks about. The first is, games come out, you don't get to play them sometimes the year they do come out, and you get to enjoy them several years later. Uh, but you never get the chance to circle back and maybe talk to them with someone if you're kind of late to the show, right? So we thought, you know what? I played a few games from previous years. You did as well. I wanted to kind of have a special category, what I am calling our retrospective game of the year. So these are games we played this year that didn't come out this year, that we think now in hindsight that we've played them, maybe they would rank up higher on the list from the year they actually came out. So I thought it would be nice to kind of shed some spotlight, because sometimes, It's like maybe all your friends play a game, you don't get to it or something, or this,
Mhm.
everybody's talking about it online, and you show up 2 years later, but it's kind of like, I need to talk about this, and everybody's like, where you been, right? So I thought I really need to, even though I actually don't have a lot for this category this year, but previous years I have, and I'm like, yeah, let's talk about this a little. So we're gonna do our retrospective game of the year first, and then the other category, which I thought was something very important, especially for video games. Now, when it comes to movies, a film is what? 2 hours, 3 hours long,
Yeah.
4 hours long if you really want to get like the director's cut of Lord of the Rings. You know what I mean? You're not pushing it past that. That's something you could do in one sitting. So at the end of the year, you could hypothetically watch all the big, important, good movies and decide how you feel about all of them. But one thing that always personally killed me every time there was these Game of the Year awards or whoever is making some special type of award is some of these video games are 100 hours long. It's impossible for anyone to play all the games that get like it's very like how many people play all the games that get nominated at the Game Awards, for example? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like people are cheering for specific games, but it's like, how do you know? You never played Metaphor. And I don't blame you. You didn't have 100 hours to play it, which is totally fine, right? But it's like, I feel like it would be nice to at least address that our list is based on incomplete information. We do not have all the information necessary to be able to decide what our game of the year is because we haven't played all the games that came out this year. And we haven't even played all the important games, the highlighted games, the
Mhm.
big double A, triple A's, or the games that everyone was talking about because we just didn't have any time. Um, or in some case, for some people, they don't have enough money to go and buy $90 games, play every single
Yeah. Yeah.
game this year, right? So I thought our second category should highlight where we have data missing. If this is a science project and at the end of it, we're coming with some conclusions, some results, our game of the year. We need to be able at least to address some of the constraints of our experiment here. And so the second category is going to be our top 5 missed games of the year. These are games that we didn't get to play this year that people talked about. We just didn't have a chance to either because of time or other commitments to hop on that we think, you know what, maybe if I did try this game based on what everyone's saying, based on my anticipation levels, based on what I've seen from this game, based on reviews, maybe, you know what, if I did play this game, my final result would have been a little bit different. So that's going to be category number 2. And so category number 3, I thought, you know what, there's a lot of games that come out that there's a lot of hype around. But sometimes, you know what, they not, it's not different strokes for different folks. And some people go bananas for certain games that you hop onto and you're just kind of like, am I stupid? Because I don't really see it. So our third category is our biggest disappointments of the year. Now, just to be clear, these aren't games that are necessarily bad. That's not what I'm saying here. I'm saying games where expectations minus reality came out as a negative number. You know what I mean? Maybe
Yeah.
we had really high expectations for a game, or we went in thinking this was going to be super good. You know what? It wasn't that great, right? Doesn't necessarily mean the game is bad. The game could still be good. And there's a lot of good games out there that maybe they don't fit exactly what you're looking for. So I thought maybe it would be nice to kind of highlight something like that. And our last two categories are pretty straightforward. I thought we would put up some honorable mentions because it's really tough to pick a best out of 5. But then I feel like a best out of 10 is a little bit cheating because then you could just throw in all the games you want to throw in. So I
Yeah.
thought maybe I throw in an honorable mentions category and then we are going to go do our game of the year category. So game of the year is going to be our top 5. All these other categories are also going to be 5. They're not going to be ranked. So whatever you think you'd like you to put in whatever
Yeah.
order doesn't really matter. But so Just to reiterate, we're gonna do our retrospective game of the year, missed games of the year, biggest disappointments of the year, honorable mentions, and our 2024 game of the year. And then in the end, let's see. Let's see what between the two of us what comes out to be the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, the common denominator. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
I'm so excited for this.
Let's hear it.
Okay. All right, man. Give me your first retrospective game of the year.
Okay, so I just want to preface this by I
Oh,
had to search like all of my wraps. So that includes the PS Wrapped, Xbox Wrapped, and Nintendo Switch Wrapped.
I didn't even check that. But okay.
Oh, I've got some disappointing stuff. But in terms of the five retrospective games that I played this year, it is Jedi Survivor, Dead
Ooh.
Island 2,
Okay.
and Ghost of Tsushima.
Okay. Okay. So Jedi Survivor, Dead Island 2, Ghost of Tsushima. So you got 3.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell us a little bit. So Jedi Survivor 2023.
Yes.
So you think Jedi Survivor would have maybe made your 2023 list if you played it in 2023?
Yeah, I think so.
Same with Dead Island 2.
Honestly, Dead Island 2 was kind of just like thrown in there because I decided to pick it up on Game Pass and just started playing it while I was in Edmonton. And I think I have like that is the game I think I played the most on my Xbox
And
this year.
you were feeling it.
I was feeling it.
Okay, so that was also 2023 if I'm not mistaken. That came out
Yeah,
last year, right?
both of them.
And then Ghost of Tsushima, which was 2020.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet man. You want to elaborate any further?
Uh I do want to say a few things about Jedi Survivor. Uh Compared to the first game, definite improvement like all around. Like I enjoyed the combat, all the like they added so many more side stories, so many more characters. The story was great. Just overall, highly recommend. I'm surprised I didn't. I think I didn't pick it up because EB sometimes, or sorry, EA sometimes is just like hit or miss with their games.
Did you play it on PC or did you play it on?
Uh, no, I played it on Xbox as well.
Okay. Because I was gonna say it's a good thing you didn't pick it up on PC last year because
Yeah,
apparently it was a
yeah,
mess on PC
yeah. It was a
last year.
mess. I heard, and then I did hear about how bad PC came out. So I was like, maybe I can just wait a little bit longer. And then Dead Island 2, like I said, like I'd never played any of the Dead Islands before. And when I finished Dead Island 2, I went back and I picked up all the other Dead Island games. Haven't
Really?
haven't started them yet, but I think I just really enjoyed getting back to like a zombie shooter.
Mm, okay.
And yeah, Ghost of Tsushima speaks for itself. I can't believe I missed it back in
Yeah,
2020.
that one in particular, I don't know what you were thinking, bro. Especially like knowing you and you knowing your taste. I don't know how you missed Ghost of Tsushima in 2020. Like these
I
other
think
two, I could see you missing them, but that one, I'm just like, what?
yeah, I think why I missed it was that's the year of COVID,
Yeah.
right?
So that would be the perfect year to play it.
No, I was working
Of course,
overtime all the
of
time.
course, you're a nurse. I completely forgot about
Yeah,
that. Yeah. Not me just hanging out at home doing nothing.
yeah,
Yeah.
right. So that's probably the reason why I missed it. It's from literally like yeah, the whole year was just like a blur. So that's probably why I missed it.
Yeah. How far are you now in Ghost of Tsushima?
Oh, I'm still on the second island,
Okay.
like the second section.
You got
I'm
ways
still
to
quite
go.
far. I've
Yeah.
been really just focused on Horizon Zero Dawn. And the reason why is because I'm watching a bunch of movies I missed this year
Yeah.
while playing it. So I'm
While
doing like
playing
the whole
Horizon. Yeah.
multitasking.
That's that's insanity. Yeah. It's okay. I was playing Balatron watching boxing the other day, so it's all the same.
You know what I was watching yesterday? I
Mm,
was watching Venom: The Last Dance, which is a terrible movie,
okay, I was gonna ask you,
and, Kraven the Hunter,
which is a terrible movie?
which honestly, it was better than Venom. Venom was just I literally didn't even pay attention. I was like, "This is terrible."
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so I guess I'm gonna ask you a tough question here.
Yeah,
Hopefully you did your homework, but I
probably
don't think you
didn't.
did. Okay, you're saying these 3 games retrospective.
Yeah,
What does Jedi Survivor and what does Dead Island 2 push out of 2023? Because 2023 is a competitive year.
2023.
What would you say your top 5 from 2023 off the bat right now? Just go.
Off the bat, man, I don't know. 2023. What are
I'll
some
gi
games? Name some
okay,
games that came out that
okay.
year too.
Hogwarts Legacy.
Nope, hated. I didn't even bother picking it up.
Okay. I'm gonna say Resident Evil 4, but I know you didn't play that.
No,
Uh, Dead Space remake, you didn't play
nope.
that either. Final Fantasy 16.
Technically, I played that this year
It's
as
fine.
well.
I'm just saying, like, in hindsight,
Nah,
no.
no.
Uh,
I actually have we'll get to it later, but, like, yeah.
okay. Diablo 4.
Nope,
Starfield.
no. I don't think
Baldur's
so.
Gate. Baldur's Gate 3.
I think that one I would be super interested in as well as if I did play that and I knew that and I know that it got good reviews, so that definitely would still be probably top 5.
Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom.
So here's the thing with the Zelda games. I always start them and I never finish them.
You don't need to justify it to me. That's literally me, bro. I don't you don't have to. I couldn't finish Breath of the Wild. I couldn't get like past 10 hours of Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, so Breath
Yeah.
of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, like I played, I don't know, I just get lost in the open world and I'm just like I'm bored and I can't play anymore.
Holy, I'm trying to think what else came out. But you're literally like, nope, nope, nope. Armored Core, probably not. You don't play Armored Core
I don't
6.
know. I'm super interested in mech games. So I know that Armored Core scored really high, so it'd probably
But I
still
guess for
make
games that you've actually
yeah,
played from
games of
2020,
that I've actually played.
Spider-Man 2,
Yeah, that's like number 1 probably.
Super Mario Bros. Wonder.
Mm,
Mm, have you tried it?
no, I haven't tried it.
Okay. Alan Wake, I'm gonna say no.
No.
I'm trying to think
I don't know.
what else you could have possibly. Yeah, okay, I guess legit. You're not just throwing these games in. It sounds like they're actually
Technically, so I have an honorable mention later,
okay.
which I'll kind of hint to, but there was an expansion that came out that I mean, it technically doesn't count as, like, a full game, but to me, I basically played it like a full game.
Oh, brother, let me tell you something. There's an expansion that came out this year that technically doesn't count as a full game. That's on my game of the year list, so it's okay. I'm not judging, and you don't have to. No, no, you don't have to worry about. I'm not judging. It could be on the honorable mention. Mine's on the actual final list. Just a sneak peek. Okay, and then Ghost of Tsushima. Where do you think that would be on your 2020?
Oh, man, I don't know. I love the open world style game, so it might have been, like, number 1.
Really,
Number 1 or
Last of
number
Us Part
2.
Two.
You know how I feel about that one, like, story-wise, could be better, but, like, gameplay, it's, like, alright. I don't know. I'd probably score, like,
Doom
maybe,
Eternal.
like, 4, 3.
What else came out that year? Doom Eternal, Neo 2, Animal Crossing, Ori and the Will of the Wisps.
Did
What
Kenna
else
come
came out
out
that
that
year?
year?
No, Kena was 2021. Spider-Man Miles Morales came out that year.
Yep, that's probably pretty high
Assassin's
up
Creed
there.
Valhalla came out that year. Hades came out that year. Um, Demon Souls remake came out that year. Like a
2020.
Dragon. Uh,
I played that after the fact. That doesn't count.
but still doesn't matter. I'm just saying, like in general. Uh,
What
yeah, I don't know.
else?
Ghost of Tsushima is for sure like my top game of 2020.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Oh, Star Wars Squadrons came out that year. Oh, I
yeah.
played Dragon Ball Z Kakarot as well. That one was pretty
That was
fun.
very early. That was in early 2020,
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
I think so.
It's like a January.
I did I get the collector's edition for that? No, I didn't.
Okay. All right, man. Ready to hear mine?
Yeah, let's hear it.
All right. So, okay, I have one that's I really only have one. The other three, I'm kind of cheating. I'm throwing on as games I just want to mention and give a shout out. I'm not really sure if they break through the top 5 of the year they came out, but I'll give them a shout out. So, my one that legit is part of my top 5 for 2020 is Final Fantasy VII Remake. That is
Mm,
the first part of the trilogy of Final Fantasy VII remakes. Rebirth being the one that came out this year, but the original one being the one that came out in 2020. When this game came out in 2020, it was not on my radar at all. I played the demo. I had like a bad. Give me a second. I just dropped the lighting. It just like slowly timbered over as I was like trying to pull the cord. Anyway, so
Hold on.
yeah,
I'm just gonna lower my camera as well a little bit. Okay.
so like I'm not a JRPG guy at all. I know Final Fantasy is like a light JRPG. It's not like some of the more serious ones. Like serious as I mean like systems wise. I, the only other Final Fantasy I played before this was like 13. I guess I played 16 last year, but it was like 13 and I didn't really like that game
Mhm.
for a multitude of reasons.
I'm
So
surprised you didn't pick up 15. 15 was like a very popular
yeah,
entry.
I didn't care about Final Fantasy, and this is why I didn't pick up this game when it came out, right?
Mhm.
And I was like, whatever, who cares? Final Fantasy 7 I know everybody was going crazy about it, but yeah, so at the time it was not on my radar at all. Uh and then 16 came out last year, and 16 seemed to be like thematically more interesting for me. So I picked 16 up and I tried 16. 16 was a good game. I don't think it's the greatest game, but it's a solid 8 out of 10. And then you know what, I was like, man, I wonder what Final Fantasy 7 remake was like is like, and Rebirth is coming out soon. So yeah, I played Remake earlier this year in January, February, just before Rebirth came out.
Mhm.
I loved it. I mean, no need to go too much in detail because I think Rebirth is. We're going to talk about Rebirth here in a bit. So yeah, that one for sure, I would say is in my top 2020. I would rank it alongside probably Last of Us Part Two, Ghost of Tsushima, Resident Evil 3 remake, this game. Actually, maybe I'd take Resident Evil 3 remake out and I'd put Miles Morales and Demon Souls in that
Mm.
category of 5. I would say those would be my 5. The other 3 games, I'm not sure they really even break into, well, maybe one of them does, but I have Grease from 2018. That is the kind of the precursor to Neva, which came out this year. Um, uh, from Nomada Studios. I've talked about it enough on this podcast over the last few months. Inside, which is obviously a very, very famous indie game from Playdead that I only played this year. That was from 2016. That game was incredible. And then last but not least, Metal Hellsinger, which came out in 2022. I love that game too. Not really sure it'll break through my top 5 of 2022. Just wanted
Mhm.
to give it a shout out. That's that uh, rhythm based heavy metal doom like. So that is it for my retrospective games of the year. Moving on to
That's pretty
our,
solid.
yeah, I think so. I didn't play that many new games this year, to be honest with you. I was kind of trying to keep up with the zeitgeist and kind of keep up
Yeah.
with all the releases. But even with that being said, my missed games of the year list is huge, so I didn't do a very good job. All right, man. What are your missed games of the year? I had like 10 of these, but then I had to cut it down to 5 just to because it
Yeah,
was going to get
yeah.
ridiculous. All right.
Mine are pretty
Okay.
straightforward.
How about you go one at a time? So if I have the same one, we could talk about it.
I'm gonna drop the biggest one.
Okay.
First.
Okay.
First missed game of the year for me,
I know what this is.
Astrobot.
Oh, actually, no, it isn't. That's not what I thought you were gonna say.
Oh, I
I
I I
think
have that
Stellar
later. I know what you're thinking,
I thought
but
you were gonna say Stellar Blade. I agree, bro. That is your biggest missed game of the year. I don't know, man. Incredible, incredible. Go ahead.
right?
Yeah, I don't wanna steal the show, but go ahead.
Yeah, that's why don't I go for one and then you go for one? I think that sounds
Yeah,
pretty fair.
yeah, yeah,
What's
sure.
your biggest one that you missed right off the top of your head?
I don't know if I have a biggest one. I'm not sure if I have a biggest one. It'd probably be a three-way tie, but I'm gonna say Black Myth Wukong.
Yeah, that's what I thought you would.
I'm gonna say Black Myth Wukong. I think I I underestimated this game hard. I counted it out. I mean, everything up to the build up, I basically said, I don't think this game is gonna look like this. This is a scam. This is gonna be like the day before. I'm not pre-ordering this. I don't care. Um, I didn't believe that this brand new studio, uh, who hasn't done a game this ambitious before, was gonna come out of nowhere and make a game like this. I just didn't think so. I thought the promise was too crazy what they were suggesting.
Mhm.
Literally everybody in my friend group, I'm talking people who only play multiplayer games. Like that's like everybody was like, no, this game is it, and they all picked it up. There was like 7, 8 people playing Wukong when that thing came up on my PlayStation. And yeah, I think I missed out on it hard. I mean, even the reviews, I feel like it sounded like didn't do it justice. Like the critic reviews didn't really have it that high. It was like an 84 or an 82 on Metacritic. So I'm like, do I really need this? But yeah, and I'm ashamed to say that I was actually counting it out and I'm waiting for Star Wars Outlaws instead.
Yeah.
And then that came out to whatever reviews it was, and I was like, yeah, good job. Yeah, that's not. But
The the physical copies are now out
yeah,
for
the
Black
physical
Myth.
copies are out. Um, but I will say in my defense that I didn't pick it up after it became apparent to me that Star Wars Outlaws was not good because I was waiting in anticipation for the game that you slept on, Astrobot. So
Yeah.
I say we're even. Yeah. I picked up Astrobot day one, not a shadow of doubt. When I saw that, I was like, this game is going to be amazing. And I could tell you from now, spoilers, it's my son's game of the year.
It's probably his only game.
His only game of the year, yeah. He gets pissed if I try to play anything else.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay,
next one.
my next one. So my next one is something that came out recently that I have no way of playing.
Why do you
Do
have no way of playing it?
any idea?
Why would you have no way of playing it?
So my game that I think might have been a top 5 for me if I picked up all the hardware for it is Arkham Shadows.
Oh, damn. I did not see that coming, man. Holy smokes. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
So
I didn't think you were gonna go VR, man.
so
What
I think we talked about it like a few episodes ago. I picked up a PS4 simply to play Batman Arkham Knight because I love the whole Arkham franchise,
yeah.
and the fact that this came out in the Arkham universe, and you basically get to play as like VR Batman. So I've never played VR games before, so like I think if I did pick up everything this year, like a full Meta Quest, picked up the game, and have it be like my first VR game, it probably would have definitely made top 5 for me.
That's insane. I think if that was your first VR game, you would have been mind blown at the same time, and then you would have never been able to reach a high in VR ever again. Because that's what VR is. You play like the one game, and then that's it. You play the Half Life Alex, and then that's it. You're never going to reach that high again.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's insane. I didn't see that coming. To be honest with you, you're like you don't have the hardware for it. I was like, what? I didn't think you. Yeah, that game looks amazing. Everything I've heard about it is like insane.
Yeah. But that's a huge investment
Yeah,
because
it was on my kind of short list too,
yeah,
but I didn't break it to like my top five.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because what, a MetaQuest 3S or whatever, or 3 is like $600-700.
Let's see. Meta Quest 3. Yeah, it's like 680 bucks.
Yeah, it's heavy.
Yeah, that's a heavy hitter for sure. Yeah. That's insane, man. I didn't see that coming.
The rest are pretty straightforward.
Okay. You want to hear mine?
Yeah, let's
I'm
hear it.
surprised we're 2 down the list and you haven't said this already. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it. I'm push bump it down one. My next one, I'm really ashamed of this one. Because this one I haven't played yet, simply because I just got addicted to COD. Really, there's nothing else. There's
Yeah,
there's nothing else stopping me from playing this game. It was like I picked it up, I bought it, I was ready to go. I had it installed on my console. Um, I was playing Warhammer 40K with my friends still, so I was trying to get out of the other way before I hop onto this game. And then COD came out and completely sidetracked me. But that is Silent Hill 2 remake. And I really thought I'd play it before the end of the year before we had this episode, but no. Yeah.
yeah, we're
It's
still waiting for the reviews.
yeah, you're still waiting for my review for Silent Hill 2 remake. I mean, I have nothing else to say. Like this game is literally in a genre that I love, from a franchise that I don't know if I love, because when I played it as a kid, I like basically crap myself trying to play these games as a kid. But um yeah, I and from what I've heard, it's just amazing. The reviews are so good. And there's no other reason. But besides like just being distracted by how many games there are out there, and the October release schedule, everything's
Mhm.
coming out and you're trying to play everything. Yeah, that's really the only reason I haven't played Silent Hill 2 remake. But I think for sure if I played it, it'd be up there on my top 5 for sure. I could
Yeah.
see it pushing out a few games in there. Yeah. So that's my number 2.
All right.
What's yours? What's your number 3?
It's still not Stellar Blade.
Oh my god, dude. What's
I know
your
you
number?
wanted me to say Stellar Blade.
I'm waiting for you to say Stellar Blade. What is it?
The next one is Like a Dragon: Infinite Wealth.
I thought you played that.
No, I
You
still
played
have it.
you played the
Still the original.
you played the one that came out in 2020.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. Yeah. I've heard amazing stuff from that. It looks
yeah.
incredible. But
Still on my list, but I gotta pick it up first, and then literally find the time to play it.
you've at least played the one before it, so you could at least hop into this one and not be completely confused. So
Yeah.
you've played the other Ichiban game, so
Hmm.
yeah, man, no time. But that's what I'm saying. That's exactly why this category exists. Who has time to play? A lot of these games are 100 hours long, right?
Yeah.
It's like, when are you gonna? You got to pick which 100-hour long games you're gonna play. Since you're gonna play hard to get, I'm gonna play hard to get still. My number, what are we on? Number 3.
Yep.
My number 3 is probably Metaphor Refantasio.
Mm,
Yeah. I mean, listen, I'm not an Atlas person. I'm not a Persona person. I've tried to play Persona 3, the original. I mean, it's a little bit cringe, like shooting yourself in the head to get like your powers and stuff. It's just
oh yeah.
yeah. I tried to play
That doesn't change.
yeah, I played a little bit of Persona 4 Golden. I played a little bit of Persona 5 Royal. Uh I don't know. Like I'd say like Persona 5 Royal is maybe the one I got furthest along and I was most like kind of
Hmm.
invested in. I just there's too much dialogue in these games. But like all that aside, considering what I've been hearing about this game and what the word on the street is, it sounds like it's absolutely incredible story-wise. So I'm sure if I actually picked it up and had the time to like focus and push through, I'd I'd see it for like what it is as a gem. And the problem with turn-based combat for me is always like I feel like the beginning of a turn-based game is always just teaching you the systems and you're just kind of building up from there. So the first like fights that you do in a turn-based game, it's always they're kind of boring. They're like
Hmm.
easy wins. You know what I mean? They're like brain dead victories. You have to
Yeah.
like get later on in the game. Once you understand the systems and then the enemies have different abilities, then you actually try and, you know, I feel like I could never get there with an Atlas game. Like I tried it with Soul Hackers too, I think. Um, what other Atlas game did I try it with? Yeah, you get to I feel like I never get to that point before I get bored of the combat system. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Am I ever
I'm
gonna play Metaphor Refantasio? Not with the release schedule that's coming out in February, March next year. So
yeah, it's
it might
crazy.
it's gonna be a heavy backlog game.
I mean, I'm like about 20 hours in, but I do have to say I still like Persona 5 more.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Persona 5 still looks a little more interesting to me,
Yeah.
but
And I love the music in Persona 5.
oh, Persona
And
5's music's insane, yeah.
yeah, the music and the menu is like just way I like looking at it more.
Yeah, the UI. Yeah.
Yeah.
What is your number 4?
It is Stellar Blade.
Stellar Blade? Okay. It
Finally saying it.
Yeah, I just wanted to talk to you about Stellar Blade at the same time. I'm gonna say
Yeah.
it's my number 4. In reality, it's probably my number I wanna say my number 3,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. But I was thinking it was gonna be your number 1, so I was like, No, you wait until 4." Yeah, Stellar Blade, man. Why'd you miss this one? I was looking forward to it, but, I
I
was
don't
just
know. I think it was just busy at the time and like
yeah,
also this is like the first game from that developer too, right?
Shift Up,
Yeah.
I think they're called. Korean
Yeah, so
developer, yeah.
I think I just didn't have any trust in the developer yet.
So, like, the same thing I had with Black Myth.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Um, I didn't pick it up because it came out, I think, some point in time in March, and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth came out, like, on the last day of February. It was, like, a leap year this year.
Mhm.
So I just, like, simply I was like, "I'm not gonna pick this up until I'm done Final Fantasy," right? And then by the time I finished Final Fantasy well, I didn't even finish Final Fantasy by the time Elden Ring Shadow of the Earth Tree, like, was coming out, so I had to, like, play base Elden Ring to get to the part where you could access it in the DLC. Um, and so, yeah, I completely missed it. It just kinda went by the wayside.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it seems like a really fun game.
You still haven't picked it up, hey?
I was looking at sales, like, there was Black Friday sales, now there's, like, Christmas, like, Boxing Day sales. They're not really that, uh, appealing. I think it's like you could get it for, like, 65 or something, but there's a
Mhm.
lot of other games on my backlog that I'm, like, buying for, like, $30, so
Yeah.
like, I bought Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown.
Yeah, it went to 25 the other day and I was tempted to pick it up as well.
The Lost Crown? Yeah.
Yeah.
The Lost Crown was one of the ones I kinda shortlisted. It didn't make my top 5 missed, but yeah,
Mhm.
probably be, like, my 6th. But I was like, "Yeah, it's $30. I might as well pick it up." Stellar Blade, man. Do you have any plans on playing it anytime soon?
I do because I mean, I've gotta play it for the memes now.
Yeah, they added that Christmas skin,
Yeah,
and they
yeah, the
added the
Christmas
Nier
skit.
Automata and the, photo mode
Yeah,
recently.
yeah, yeah. I think you sent the Christmas skin to me right away, and I was
I
like,
think so or something. No, you
"I
sent
need
the
it."
Christmas skin to me right away.
Oh, did I send it to you?
Yeah, yeah, you did.
I also sent you the Mariah Carey and Fortnite thing.
Yeah, you did. Was that confirmed or is still rumor?
Oh, I have no idea, but I mean, I feel like they need to add Mariah Carey to Stellar Blade now too, so they can fight each other.
That'd be insane, man.
I mean,
They
it
need to
might
get the
happen if
Catch Me
they
Outside girl to Stellar Blade.
is Stellar Blade out on PC yet?
Aren't they saying it was coming out to PC or something?
I don't know. Mods, please make it happen. That'd be funny.
Bro, those games mods that game is a mod on PS5, bro, let
Yeah,
alone
yeah. Dude, did you hear? Sorry, this is like a huge sidetrack, but like, did you hear that? I think the director or whatever was asking people to try and keep the mods very PG and respectful when
on
Final
Rebirth.
Fantasy VII Rebirth comes to
Yeah,
PC.
I saw that. That's not happening, bro. I read that.
Oh man,
Yeah, he's dreaming, bro.
so good.
I mean, they already did what they did on Remake, so
Mhm. All right.
What's your number
last one
5?
on my list
Yeah.
for missed games this year. This one came out like just a few weeks ago. This is Indiana Jones.
This is my number 5 as well.
Yeah,
Yeah. I why is this on your mist?
because I haven't played it yet.
Yeah, it just came out, like, that's why. I'm like, "Okay, this one's not, like, because I missed it, it's just because it came out, like, 2 weeks ago, and it came out the same day as Marvel's Rivals came out, and I've just been playing Marvel's Rivals instead, so
Oh yeah,
I
you're
was
you're
gonna."
still you're still deep in it, hey?
Yeah, I've been playing Marvel's Rivals for 2 weeks, so it was honestly just a release date thing. It wasn't because I didn't, like, I overlooked it or anything. I was looking forward to it. It was already downloaded on my Xbox and everything.
Yeah,
I thought I'd be able to play it before this episode so that, like, we could, like, discuss or something, but no, haven't got to it yet.
yeah,
It's like
yeah.
gonna be I think it's gonna
I
be a Christmas
literally
thing.
can also play it, but yeah, I've just been. I want to play something brainless so that I can catch up on all the
Mo
movies and shows
Yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
I said I want to catch up on. On a side note,
Naruto.
I am. I just started a new Korean drama
Go ahead.
yesterday.
What's it called?
It's called Happiness. It's a zombie one, but it's the zombies are weird. So like they get bitten, and then whenever they have like a thirst for blood. So then the virus like activates and deactivates. So like after 15 minutes of them like going crazy, they return to normal.
This sounds insane, bro.
Yeah.
Sounds like a must watch.
I don't know. I just started yesterday. There's 12 episodes, I think. They're an hour long each, and I'm on episode 10.
Oh my god. Yesterday you started?
Yeah.
But why is the whole cast of this like freaking good looking people? Holy smokes.
Dude, all the Korean ones are like good looking
The whole
people.
cast, bro.
So I'm just like, easing myself in preparation for Squid Game, which comes out in 4 days.
Bro, some of these Korean guys, you look at I mean, I know they're obviously actors and stuff, but it's like age 41, I look older than him.
Right?
Yeah, straight up.
Um okay, yeah.
Yeah, Indiana Jones, man. Same here. Like
Mhm.
I'm just yeah, haven't got to it yet. That's one of them where it was just like I just give me some time. Yeah, I heard good things too, so
Yeah, maybe when you finally finish Silent Hill 2.
yeah. But now I'm like, do I want to just play Alan Wake 2 instead, like over the Christmas break? I don't know what I want to play. I still
You
haven't
better
figured out what I need
decide.
to play. I've been addicted to Marvel's Rivals. Oh my god, bro. Oh my god. I was gonna drop it after like 2-3 days of playing it. Like this game's stupid. And then I just thought, okay, let me give this game a chance and like let me try all the characters and go through the characters and try to learn all their
Mhm.
movesets. And it took me like 2-3 nights of playing because there's like 40 characters.
Yeah.
Not maybe not 40, but there's a lot of characters.
Is there
Uh,
still like balance issues? I heard that a lot of people like playing just like the attackers, like the damage dealers.
I play usually with a full lobby of other people. So if we ever have a random, there's 1 or 2 randoms. It's
Mm,
never like 3 or
gotcha.
4 randoms, so it's never a problem. Like I don't care.
Yeah,
We always sort it out between us.
in
Like
terms
who's
of
gonna be
roles.
healer, who's gonna be tank, who's gonna be
Yeah.
DPS. Yeah. So okay, man. With those out of the way, moving on to our biggest disappointments of the year. How many do you have on here?
I've got I mean, technically I have 3, but I'm
Okay.
counting I have one that's like a just a general like I hate this certain
Okay.
company.
Okay. 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 We can leave that one for last then. Okay, I have 5. Hit me up with your first one. What's your biggest
Okay,
disappointment?
this is like a hot take,
Oh, there's hot takes on this, bro. Don't worry.
but my biggest disappointment is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
What? What are you
Okay,
talking about, bro?
hear me out, hear me out.
No, I don't want to.
So,
What do you mean?
no.
Okay.
You literally explained it at the very beginning. I was gonna preface this. So, Final Fantasy VII Remake comes out. I finish it like so quick. But then this year, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth comes out. I get pretty far, I think, and I just drop it. I just don't know what happened. Like, I just don't have that same level of like commitment to finishing the game versus the first one.
You know what's insane? I have, I think, 3 friends or 4 friends who, when Final Fantasy VII Remake came out, they all, like, picked it up, played it immediately, or played it in with, like, the first year, and were like they were on it right away.
Mhm.
Whereas me, I'm like, "Final Fantasy, get the hell out of here," right? But then when Rebirth came out, I was like, "Okay, Rebirth looks really good. Let me prepare in anticipation and actually give Remake a chance." So then I played Remake. I'm like, "Wow, this game's great." And then I immediately hopped into Rebirth, and I was like, I just kept going. Whereas all my other friends who were like high on Remake when it came out or were super excited for it, none of them got Rebirth. I was the only one who played Rebirth. None of them like had the urge to go and pick it up or buy it or
Yeah.
start it right away. So I don't know what's going on. I feel like I've heard this more than from one person.
Yeah, so I don't like I just feel like there was this I was super hyped and then like so and I think maybe Black Myth kind of took away from Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I didn't pick it up like day 1 either. And I think what had happened is I got to the open world part where it kind of opens up a lot more. And playing Black Myth, which is also kind of like open areas at a time, the game, like the movement was just a lot faster versus like sometimes, climbing up the ladders and climbing up the cliffs was really slow. I felt in like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. So I think that took me out of it. Like, don't get me wrong, like the combat's still super good. The mini games are like stellar, obviously, and like you get to see all your like OG characters, which is always like a great fun. But I just feel like there was just something about it that really took me out of it.
Listen, as far as the open world is concerned, I'll agree with you. The open world is probably the weakest part of that game. It was like a really bad Ubisoft game. The open
Hmm.
world was like these like check marks on the map that you go and do these little missions, and they were very of little consequence. Actually, even the ones that were of consequence, like just to do it, was like this boring trivial thing. Like aside from the actual side quests or whatever, it was, yeah. It I didn't find that it was kind of just tedious, but it was always there'd be like something interesting at the end of it. Like there'd be like a final open world optional boss battle if you do
Hmm.
all the mini little special enemies that you have to fight as some sort of open world task. Like I agree, there was a lot of brainless, numbless hours if you were trying to do the open world for sure, without a shadow of doubt on that one. That could have improved there, but I just that was not enough of a negative to take away from the absolute charm that I thought that game was.
Yeah,
But I mean, I still think about that game like every day. I
that's
just
crazy.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I
Just the
mean,
music, the environment, the characters, the combat, the enemies. I feel like the story wasn't the best because the story felt like this middle of a story where like remake was like a setup, and then like rebirth just feels like this drawn
yeah,
out
drawn out.
middle where it just keeps going to try and get to like some next level build up. Like for most rebirth, you're literally just we got to find Sephiroth, and you're just following Sephiroth like just randomly. Like there's no end game. You just keep following him. You follow him from one region to another somehow. That's all
Yeah,
it is,
that's true.
right? The whole time. And then
Yeah,
Shinra's just like
chilling.
chilling. Yeah, it wasn't. It's not as good as remake for sure, but that does make me a little sad.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
I had to think about it because I like looked at the games that I did play this year, and I was like, which ones did I finish, and which one did I really enjoy and stood out to me?
yeah.
And like, I remember picking this up, and I was like playing it, got distracted, and then just never bothered to come back.
You said you were on the flying saucer.
Yeah,
You're probably chapter 8 then, I think.
Yeah. I
Chapter
mean,
9.
I think it's not like I'll never come back, but I think I have now a list of things that I wanna get done before I go back to it.
Yeah, it's not an easy game to hop in and out. Yeah, I don't know. That's unfortunate. I have to actually go back and finish it. I'm on the last chapter. I haven't
See?
No, I haven't but the reason why I didn't start the last chapter was because it's like a point of no return, and I had a few things left to do in the open world. And I
Mm,
was like, do I want to finish them and hop in? But the things I had left were actually extremely difficult. So I was like really theoretically close to the plat, but I'm like, just to do these things, it's going to take me forever. So in between me trying to decide what I wanted to do, Elden Ring was getting pretty close to coming out. So I switched on to that. Anyway, my number one biggest disappointment of the year. Not my number one, but my first. I didn't really rank these to be honest. So I'll just go through them, not ranked in particular. Um Skull and Bones. So this game was a game that like I was anticipating when it first got announced years ago. Like and I was a big Assassin's Creed guy. I wasn't like the biggest Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag guy, but I still liked that game and I was really down for a pirate game.
mhm,
And obviously over the course of the year, like we've got announced in I think 2021 and then it was supposed to come out 2022 and then it got delayed and then it's supposed to come out last year and it got delayed 3 times. I mean, I'll be honest with you, by the time it actually came out, my hype was like long gone. It was dead. Like my hype was probably on its at its highest in like 2018, 19, 20 or whatever for this game. But as it drug out, I was like, I don't know, this game is in development hell. I mean, there's not much to say here. The game came out and it's just like it's not even as good as Black Flag. Like you can't do any ship combat, which is unfortunate. Really there is no land combat at all. You just kind of walk around and just get cosmetics. The ship combat itself didn't feel that interesting. Like even recovering resources, you do this weird thing where you just line your ship up beside a tree and then you like do this stupid press button mini game. I mean, I didn't buy the game. I played the open beta weekend, and I think there was like a 10-hour trial too that I played. Yeah, didn't pan out that big quadruple A game.
mm,
Yeah, nothing else really to say about that one.
yeah.
What's your number two?
So this one is something I don't know if I can really count it, but, I did play it this week, and it was announced basically at the Video Game Awards, and that is Steel Hunters.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That beta. That would
Yeah,
they?
yeah.
Yeah.
So, I saw the trailer, and I was like, "Oh, damn, like, this looks, like, really cool." I'm, like, interested in it, and I went out of my I normally don't do any of the beta stuff, but, like, it was on open beta this week, so I picked it up, downloaded it. They're the same makers that, like, make World of Tanks and stuff. So that was
Okay.
already, like, the first red flag. I'm like, "Oh, this is like a very, like, free to play developer."
Mm,
So then I picked it up. There's, like, basically 2 game modes that you can play. They're basically the same thing. You just kinda go, like, to control point. You fight these, like, drones, which is, like, just computers, and then you collect the resources, and you and your teammate are against basically 6 other groups, and it's like whoever lasts the longest and picks up the most, power-ups will obviously win, and then you win the match. They they need to figure out, like, their guns, because like, you're just constantly reloading. It takes forever to, like, reload, so you're just kinda, like, walking around the enemy, like, trying to hide behind rocks while you're just reloading your gun, like, constantly.
that's funny.
Yeah.
Like you're just
There's
doing this like dance where you're trying to get out of the way while you're reloading your.
Yeah, yeah. So you'll like unload your clip. It has like 24 shots. The enemy is like, you just finish their shields, and then you're just like running around this rock trying to reload as fast as you can so that you can like either kill him or he kills you, or you like try and run up and you just melee them. But then meleeing them doesn't even like kill them. So you just like after you use your melee, you can't use it right away too. So then you're like waiting
Oh,
for your
there's a
melee to
cooldown.
recharge, waiting for your gun to recharge, and you're just like, I guess I'm just like running around trying to avoid whatever's coming at me.
Yeah, it doesn't sound too fun. It looked really good at the Game Awards, but
Yeah, it looked really good, and it's like pretty like it looks pretty, like it's built on Unreal Engine. So it definitely looks like pretty cool, but I just found the gameplay to be like really boring and repetitive.
mm,
Yeah. And I don't know if it's because like you're playing with like noobs because everybody is like
that could be it
new
a
to the
little bit.
game.
Maybe there's like a high like skill ceiling or whatever once you
Yeah,
figure out how it
and
works.
I've only unlocked like one other like hunter they call it, which is just like another big robot. And I
Mm.
like played around with it and I was just like I like the first robot more. And I played what I think a total of like 3 or 4 hours of just like the same game mode. It would be probably okay if I was playing different game modes, but both the game modes are like very similar. And I got to like I think level 10 or something like that and I was like this is boring. I can't play this anymore. And like I can't believe that this was the actual game that they hyped up at the video game awards.
It's called marketing. It looks like they did a good
Yeah.
job. They pulled you in. Uh, okay, my number two. This is a hot take. This is my hot take. This is one of my, I think, three hot takes. Helldivers 2.
Mm.
Helldivers 2. Helldivers 2. So Helldivers 2 was a game that was not on my radar at all when they showed it off last year. I didn't care. Didn't look interesting to me. Came out, then there was like this buzz around it. Everybody's talking about it. Has like 400k concurrent players on Steam. Um, the developer was like, "Please, we don't even have enough like server capacity for this. We need to upgrade our servers. We didn't think this game would be this big of a hit." You know, whispers in the group chat. The boys are like, "Yo, bro, what is this Helldivers game? It sounds like it's you know." I'm like, I mean, like, listen, I'm down to play a game with the boys if you guys are down. Like, let's play and um, I ended up being one of the early adopters actually. So I actually bought a copy, and then like it was kind of like a domino effect. A bunch of other people bought copies too. I
Mhm.
think Joad might have been the first person to buy it, and he was playing co-op with his cousin. And then I bought it, and I bought a copy for my one friend, and then my other friend bought it. Anyway, we had like maybe 4 or 5 guys on rotation playing Helldivers 2. Um, I mean, my first 5 hours with that game were like spectacular. That game was like it's just a game that you don't really there's nothing really like it. Nobody developers aren't making games like this. It's like a wonderful co-op experience. You're playing with your friends. It's just so much fun. It's so much lols, man, because all the friendly fire is hilarious, right? Obviously, and then the ways you die and the whole like you put in so when you do like commands or orders or when you get in like care packages from the sky or when you put in codes to do a bomb, you literally put in a code in the game. Like I
Mhm.
don't know if you've seen this, but you actually have to type in on your directional button pad up
Yeah.
up down down left left whatever to detonate this thing, right? And you're trying to do it and all these bugs are coming after you. The way the guns feel, especially on the dual sense, is so nice. The way they shoot and stuff like that, like the audio, the way you're running around. Um, the whole hub world. You come down from the ship. It's all spectacular. Like I feel like it had a really good base core, but like everything in the periphery after a short period of time just faded away. It just to me, and I felt like I was the only one who was experiencing this because all my other friends were like, "This is so great." They were just having fun. To me, it just felt like it became the most repetitive, dry, just kind of chore of a game ever. Like it's like you just hop into the world and it's like one of the two same enemy types, right? That you're fighting. And then you get to a point where like there's only like a handful of weapons and stuff. Like it's not like there's that many. So immediately a meta is figured out by the community. And like there's literally like no point in experimenting. Like you run with the same kind of plus minus a few things,
Yeah.
like build every match you run. It's the kind of the same tasks. And it's like, okay, I'm using the same kind of gun, the same kind of air strike, the same kind of this, and it's just like one or two enemy types, and you leveling up takes forever, and getting currency takes forever, and you're just like, okay, eventually I'm gonna be able to play on the higher levels, and it's like I feel like there was a big drag between when you're like level 5 and level 20. I feel like it gets a little bit interesting after level 20 again, but then after like level 25, it 20, maybe level 30, it veers off again and becomes like absolutely boring. I I know people like I'm not even mad about like the fixes that they did. I know they nuked a bunch of stuff and they messed up with a lot of the balancing in the game. I don't even care that much about it. Like even before that, I think maybe it was also because I was playing it simultaneously the same time I was playing Rebirth, and I was like loving Rebirth, and every time I'd be playing it I'm like it's kind of a chore. I just want to play Rebirth. So
Yeah.
yeah, I didn't really understand the hype for this game. It just felt repetitive and brain dead after a short period of time. I didn't find it that interesting, unfortunately. That's my number two. What's
It's
your uh
fair. It's
what's your number
fair.
three?
Number 3. This one is something you just mentioned. This one doesn't really have anything to do with, like, the game itself. It's just I was super hyped for it, and I was, like, really wanting to, like, play more, but I just ran into a lot of issues, and that is Call of Duty 6.
Call of
Black
Duty
Ops
Black Ops
6.
6.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's nothing to go against, like, the gameplay or anything, it's just
Just the
purely
technical
the stupid issues that I had running it.
on your PC.
Yeah,
Yeah.
on my PC, and that was literally the only reason why it's on this list. Because to come back for Call of Duty after, like, taking so many years off and then just running into, like, these bugs where you play a mission or mission and a half and it, like, dies on you, or you're,
Mm.
like, multiplayer game and it dies on you, it's like, "Why am I playing this then?"
What is
You
that?
know?
What is that system that was bugging your laptop? What is it called?
It's the DirectX issue.
DirectX, yeah.
Yeah, and, like, you even convinced me to finish that one mission so I could continue playing,
And
and
then
then
that
for me
mission
to,
was
like,
completely bugged after they did the patch.
yeah, and then for it to be bugged, and then for me to fix it, and then for me to play the next mission and then still get the same error. It's like, yeah, man, like, I give up.
Oh my god, PC Master Race. Look at me. I can play any game I want. Look at me. I can play any game I want. 120 20 frames per second at 4K. But watch this PC crash every 5 minutes. Why is it crashing? Oh my god. Oh my god, you play on console? Oh, sorry. I got to restart my PC every 5 minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
I probably would have enjoyed my time
You put
more,
it enjoyed if you
honestly.
played on the Xbox that you gave me instead.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. That sucks, man. I feel like you missed out. That was a really good game. Really good campaign. Really good multiplayer. After a while, obviously, the multiplayer always ends up becoming bad because people figure out that the maps are actually garbage and there's
yeah.
ways to break it, but whatever. My number three is The Plucky Squire.
Yes.
Yeah. So this was that indie game from the First Time Studio. I can't remember their name right now, but this is their first game. It is the 2D kind of hand drawn uh picture book art style where you're in a 2D world as kind of this in this like medieval kind of fantasy world as this little knight, but then also there's an aspect of this game where you come out of the picture book you're in and you end up in the 3D world and you're inside the bedroom of the child who owns the book that you are the character in, and you kind of walk around and do stuff in there that ties into the book. um this game is a genius idea, brilliant art style, right?
Mhm.
This idea that you're in a picture book and then you like actually you realize that there's a real world and you're just a character in it and you come out and you manipulate the real world to do something in the picture book and you come back in. And then it actually sometimes you go to the real world to solve puzzles in the picture book, and you like the puzzles inside the game, the way how it like connects the two is just genius. Uh, but this game has just brain dead combat, not so interesting combat at all. Very simplified, useless. Like you have like three or four attacks, you get like more from the store, but none of them do anything special. It's not like you're supposed to use the jump attack against this enemy or you're supposed to do this attack against that enemy. It doesn't matter. Just use whatever on whatever. It all
Yeah.
gets the job done the same. And the dialogue is brutal. There's a lot of dialogue. That dialogue that just comes up on the screen and you just keep
Mhm.
pressing X. Most of it is inconsequential to the story. It just felt like it ruined the pacing. It felt like made the game drag on. Um, and then the actual traversing the world too wasn't, especially unfortunately the 3D world wasn't that interesting. You're kind of just, yeah, it's not like the best 3D action platformer there is. I preferred the 2D world, especially with the art style.
Yeah. It
So
only
yeah,
makes a little bit more sense,
so
I
I could
think.
I could see the idea there. I could see, I was really looking forward for this game, but as I played it, I was kind of like, no, this isn't that great. Like I felt like the idea, the higher, this bigger thing of like this 2D 3D game we're gonna do looks great. Like it did look great and it did play out great, but the actual like base to base, the core of the game just felt like mush. It didn't really feel good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's my number three. What is your number four biggest disappointment of the year?
All right, this is my super general one that,
Okay.
like, I guess technically shouldn't be something, but,
Okay.
like, my biggest disappointment for 2024 is just all of Nintendo.
Yeah. What was there? Princess Peach Showtime? Mario vs. Donkey Kong, that remake of that
Yeah,
whatever.
and then the brothers one, the Luigi and
Luigi
Mario one,
Brothership.
the RPG one.
What else was there?
Nothing
Jamboree.
really.
Mario Party Jamboree.
Yeah.
There wasn't that much, no.
So I bought 0 Nintendo Switch games this year. So this is my wrap for Nintendo. I bought 0 Nintendo Switch games this year. Guess how many hours I have on my Switch?
5?
No, I have 1 hour.
Jeez.
And guess what game it was?
What is it?
The Switch Sports.
Switch Sports.
Yeah. So I just basically powered up my dead Switch so I could play the Switch Sports games, which is just basically the Wii games, with my sister and her fiance. And that's the only time I touched my Switch this year.
I'm kinda the same. I barely touched it. Usually, I touch it if we go on, like, a road trip or something,
Yeah.
or if I go on an airplane, but I didn't really do any of that. Well, I did that earlier this year. I tried to play Metroid Prime Remaster, but I didn't get really far with that.
Hmm.
Yeah, I didn't touch it either, man. I
Yeah.
tried played a little bit of Mario Party Jamboree. I might have, like, more hours than you for sure, but
Yeah. But just like this whole year, like,
they're saving them for the Switch too.
yeah, I mean, it must be that because, like, what? No, I don't think a Pokemon game even came out this year.
No. I'm trying to think what else came out. I can't even think.
Yeah. And then also, this is a side note, but like Nintendo, I hate your online service so much. Like, I was trying to log in for my Wrapped because I'm like, oh, like, I'll take a look and see what like happened on the Nintendo side. And then, like, to log in on your phone, you need to have like a pass key because I have a pass key set up, which is basically like you have to use your Face ID or your fingerprint. So I had it set up to my other phone. And I was like, man, I have to like dig my other phone out and like log in. And then I was like trying to use the alternate method to log in and it would just bring me to the support page. I'm like, listen, I just wanna log in so I can find out, like, my hours that I played this year. Like, can you make this easier?"
I never look at my Switch Wrapped, so I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, like, it's just so annoying logging into their website. Like, they make it so hard.
Yeah, that's a Nintendo problem, man.
Yeah. I mean, it's also impossible for people to switch their, like, switches over unless you have, like, the existing one, right? Because you
Yeah,
have to,
that's
like,
an issue too,
transfer it
right?
to, like, a micro SD card or something like that.
Yeah. You can't transfer over from this cloud? Bro, Xbox is so seamless, like, literally everything just transferred over.
Yeah. I mean,
You know
same
how
with
much.
PlayStation. Like, as long as you have, like, their premium service, all the
Yeah.
backups and stuff are saved. But I think even, like, the store is, like, super annoying to re-download your stuff from.
Nintendo, man.
Mhm.
My number 4 biggest disappointment is Warhammer 40K Space Marines 2. I'm just killing all the, 3D shooters. Maybe they're not my genre. Warhammer 40K Space Marines 2. So this game I was kind of aware of. I was kind of watching its, marketing cycle. I was like, this looks kind of double A. I don't care about Warhammer. Do I really want to buy this? Friend of mine kind of motivated me to get it. He was really interested in it. What he saw really kind of tickled his fancy. So he convinced me to pick it up and another friend, and we played the entirety of it co-op. We played the campaign co-op, and then because there's 3 game modes, there's a campaign and there's like a co-op mode with reoccurring like redoable missions. And then there's a multiplayer PvP. So there's a co-op, there's a PvE and the PvP. So we played the campaign first together, then we hopped into the PvE, and then we hopped into the PvP. Um, this is another one of those games where the core is great, like Helldivers. Like it feels like this beautiful Xbox 360 game with this beautiful art style, and you do this like the whole thing with the chainsaw, and you have like these melee weapons, and you shoot your guns, and all these bugs start coming everywhere, and you just fight them off. Like the core was great, um, but I feel like the periphery that was built around that core did not kind of didn't really impress me in the end. The campaign was really short. I don't know what the story is. It wasn't really interesting. None of us paid attention to it. The first 2 or 3 missions were not that interesting. The campaign actually gets better as you go along. The later missions felt like they were better. Um, the PVE, basically, the PVE is 6 missions plus an additional mission that they added while I was still playing it. You're supposed to just keep playing these missions over and over again and basically level up. I'm not very good at doing stuff like that in video games. I find it very brain dead to just keep playing the same thing over and over again
Yeah.
just for the sake of leveling up. There's like 6 or 7 classes. The classes are all super cool. It's fun to try them all, but the problem is you can't level up by switching classes. Like you have to basically, if you want to play the PvE missions on the harder difficulties, you basically have to go through all of them on the lowest difficulty under one class. You shouldn't be switching classes because then you won't be leveling up the same for each class. And then do them all again on another round on a higher difficulty, and then do them all again. We basically ran all the missions on the lowest difficulty once, and that was about it. Um, there was really no will or desire for me to go back and play those over again. And then we played the PvP, which was I thought actually fun. It was like a throwback to the PS3, Xbox 360 generation where they would have like a tag along multiplayer mode for a single player game. Uh, I thought it was a fun multiplayer game. It wasn't the best balancing. It wasn't really meant to be competitive and all that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
It was just for shits and giggles. But the problem was it wasn't crossplay for whatever reason, and one of our friends was on PC. So we played it for one night. We didn't play with him. That was it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was unfortunate because the rest of the game was crossplay. I don't know why they decided. It's not like it was a super competitive game. We weren't going to get burnt by these keyboard and mouse people. I don't understand the developer choice to not have it crossplay with
Yeah,
PC.
it's, like, not really I don't know, I don't think people really care about a third
No,
person.
no. So yeah, that was Warhammer 40K Space Marines too. That was also another one I got hyped up by the hype around it from everybody else around it. And then
Mhm.
when I played it, I'm like, what? I don't really get why this is really double A and it is just double A. I don't understand. It's double A in all the good ways and double A in all the bad ways. I didn't really understand why. The hype was crazy for that.
Interesting. Interesting.
Yep. So what is your number 5 biggest disappointment?
I don't have any more. That
That is
was
it.
yeah, I've got 4.
You're a man that's not easily disappointed.
Yeah, I mean, n n can I write Nintendo again?
No, you cannot. Give me a sec. I'll be right back because I need a drink of water for this last one. Because this last one I need to pour my heart out for.
Okay.
Okay, Derwin, my number 5 biggest disappointment of the year. So I'm gonna kind of spoil ahead and say this game ended up on my biggest disappointment list, but it also ended up on my honorable mention list because I'm honestly torn. Like my heart is torn about it. Like I loved this game, but there was like a heart side of me and the brain side of me. The heart side of me loved this game, but my brain was just kind of like. I feel like if I wasn't so in tune with like the video game, like you know, news world, and I didn't like listen to other people's reviews, and I didn't kind of read Metacritic and see what the word on the street was, I feel like I wouldn't have these feelings at all. I wouldn't notice them. I'd be oblivious to them, like blinded by love. But because I have, I'm kind of like, oh, man, they are right. So like my number 5 biggest disappointment that is also on my honorable mention list is Hellblade 2 Senua's Saga. Hellblade. So, okay, I played the first Hellblade in 2019 after the 2019 Game Awards. I didn't know what this game was. I saw the first Hellblade 2 trailer on the 2019 Game Awards, and I was like, "What is this game? This looks insane." And then I saw the number 2. I'm like, "What? There's a number 1?" I immediately downloaded Hellblade 1 and played it like right after the 2019 Game Awards. My God, did I fall in love with that game. I fell in love with Hellblade 1. It is still to this day one of my favorite games of all time. I know it has a lot of faults. I know the combat isn't that great and it's kind of clunky. I know the puzzles are kind of weird. I know it's kind of a walking simulator for a lot of it. But my God, did I love that game. That game was probably one of my I mean, would have been for sure would have been my top 5 retrospective of 2017 because that's when it came out. So 2019 Hellblade 2 comes out, trailer comes out, and I'm thinking, "Oh my god, this game is an Xbox only. I need to buy an Xbox to play this." Right? I think I bought it, 2019 it comes out, but they said it was Series X exclusive. Obviously, the Series X and S didn't come out till 2020. I I it was probably my top 5 most anticipated game for every year of 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, and then this year. I waited so long for this game. It was like didn't come out in 2020, didn't come out in 2021. Didn't like it was a 5 year wait from when we saw that trailer. And I'm like, this game is I literally went and bought a Series X in anticipation. I'm like, this game must be coming soon. Let me go buy a Series X because like before, like, I think I got one like there was a shortage and stuff. I'm like, let me get this while I have a chance." Didn't come out till this year, like, and like through all the kind of wait and agony and suffering of trying to get like some type of trailer. I think they dropped the trailer. I think the first one they dropped the trailer in 2022, I think. And then they kind of mentioned it in like 2023, and then there was like nothing. No, they dropped the 2023 trailer, I remember, at the Game Awards. And then I was super hyped, but there was no date. And then finally they had a date at the beginning of this year. Um, like I was looking so forward to this game. And I mean, this game came out, and when it came out, I played it. I only had positive thoughts at the end, but as like time went on, and I kind of sat on it, and I kind of got over that, honeymoon phase. I was kind of like, this game we've been waiting for 5 years. God knows how long it's been in development, and like this is the final product. Felt like what came out did not do justice for the development time like that needed to come out. It didn't. So like it would improve things in the wrong way. A lot of the complaints of the first game was um the combat is clunky. It's kind of weird, right? These enemies get behind you and they do this weird thing and you can't rotate. Camera's kind of weird. So they made the combat better. They fixed it. But they fixed it by doing this. Honestly, it's kind of cheat. The combat only appears that you're fighting more than one enemy. It's heavily cinematic, which makes it very like fun for the immersed environment.
Mhm.
But at the same time, you notice like after the game's over, it's like you only ever fight one enemy at a time.
Yeah.
So to fix the camera angle issue, they just turned it into like a one enemy, like, and I'm like, that's like a cheat, right? And then it was like, what? Why are they doing it like that? And then for the puzzles, a lot of people complain about the puzzles. They kind of ruin the pacing. They kind of do blah 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 blah. So instead of like making better puzzles or more interesting puzzles or more intricate puzzles or puzzles that are less repetitive, they dumbed down the puzzles. They honestly like made the puzzles worse and easier and dumber just because people were complaining about the puzzles getting in the way of them playing the game. They made the puzzles worse, which was like, I'm like, no, that's not like either you take the puzzles out or you make the puzzles better. So it was like another one of those things where it was just like, then they also I feel like that game was not complete. I honestly feel like the goal they set out to do had to get truncated. I don't think the developers when they sat down and they did this, they said this is going to be another 8-hour double A length game. I honestly felt like they had a bigger scale because it feels like the second half of the game almost gets like truncated. It gets a little bit abrupt. I was just kind
Mhm.
of like, it doesn't feel right. It felt like they almost had to take parts of the game out just to get it done. And then, yeah, also, I feel like they took out all the boss battles. They had boss battles in the first game, which were usually a play on the game's mechanics and they'd have some intricate puzzle to them. They took them all out. Like, there's no boss per se that you fought in that game that had, you know, anything like that. I mean, I know I'm taking too long with Hellblade, but I really need to like this was honestly my most anticipated game for 2024. Like I was looking forward to this more than
Yeah.
anything else that was possibly coming out. Um yeah, like there was a boss in the first game that you literally had to fight in the dark. Like it's pitch black and you have to use your audio and you have to parry at the right time and if you parry at the right time based on the audio, he lights up and you could hit him some more.
Yeah.
There was like a boss, like there was like Surtur or something else in the first game. I remember they had a gimmick too. There was nothing like that in this game. Then there was like levels in the first game. There was levels that had a gimmick to them. Like there was a level where you like the room looks the same and you go through a door and then it takes you to the same looking room again. And you go through a door, takes the same, and you have to figure out how to get
Yeah,
out of
yeah.
this labyrinth of like mazes. There was a level where you played in the dark. It's literally pitch black. You barely see anything, and you have to use your ears to avoid these enemies that'll kill you. I felt like they kind of tried to experiment that with like one level, but I don't know, man. After a while, it was just yeah. I mean, since I'm on Hellblade, I guess I will talk about why it's also on my honorable mention list. Like, I mean, like it's crazy to make a game about someone experiencing mental health disorder, specifically like as severe as like psychosis or schizophrenia, and then to have it be done in like this medieval like world where like this is might be a little bit before medieval. I'm not. I guess it would technically be medieval, like Viking age, but to have it also from the perspective of someone who's experienced trauma in that time frame, because we always kind of glorify and fantasize this. Like you think about like a Viking raid, and you watch a movie like or show like Vikings or Vikings Valhalla or like Norsemen or whatever, and it's just like, oh, they go on a raid and they pillage and stuff like that. It's cool, and these Vikings drink it. But it's like if you actually like were to put yourself in the shoes of like the victim of someone who's experienced that, like that's an insane traumatic event. And like they just did that part better. Like the visuals, the audio, the immersion, the feel, the dread, the horror of like they put you into the shoes of someone like that, someone experiencing like this immense like suffering and like being in such a like uneasing situation, but then also having to deal with this mental health issue at the same time. Like you don't know what's real in front of you and you don't know what's not. Like it's just why I fell in love with the first game and why I still love the second game. Like with
Mhm.
all its faults and everything. Like and even in the combat settings, they give you this feeling. Like I know it's like a cheap combat that's not really combat. They're just like playing a joke on you. If you just break out of it, you realize like they're just trying
Yeah.
to get you to play a movie. But like even if you're immersed in that and if you actually just try and believe it and like actually immerse yourself in, close the lights, put your headset on and be in, like you feel this like you're like a woman who's like a warrior, yes, and you have a sword, but at the end of the day, like you're still weak compared to like these men and you're like outnumbered and you're like surviving for your life and every time you get knocked down you're back on the ground and you're like trying to like get back up and you're trying to stay alive and it's like the horror of it all of like being in a sword fight, especially when you're like against someone who wants to like kill you in like a situation like that. It's not, it's also like a different type of horror. It's like I feel like in our today's society we don't look at the maybe the horror of like warfare back in the day or the reality of human beings back in the day as
Mhm.
much. We kind of romanticize it, but in reality for the people there, like it's something serious, it's something real. So like I mean just the setting, the music, the like the not the
Hallucinations.
hallucinations she sees and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean like and m- well as as uh
Yeah.
as they like to say at the Game Awards, Melinda Jurgens. Yeah, Melinda Jurgens, like her performance is insane, man. Like this is a girl who was literally like her job at Ninja Theory was like a video editor or something. I don't know if you know the story of the first game before they got bought out by Microsoft. Like she was literally a video editor at Ninja Theory or something like that. And they
Oh,
decided they wanted to go motion cap for this double A game that they had no funding for, that was crowdfunded. And they were like, "We don't have a model. Melina, you're in. You're literally gonna be the model for Senua." And she won Best Performance in 2017 Game Awards
yeah.
like that. Like Ninja Theory's story, like how they got bought out by Xbox and how they like managed to get the funding to make this game is insane. And then she wins again at the Game Awards. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's
Sorry,
crazy.
I went on like a huge rant about Hellblade, but I had to. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I cut to the chase. That was, I guess, I would say, I did say it's an honorable mention, but also a disappointment for those two
Yeah.
reasons, right?
Fair.
Yeah, yeah. Um, but what are your honorable mentions? How many
My
do you have first? I
honorable
guess.
mentions? So
What is? How many do you
I've
have?
got I've got 2.
Okay,
Um, One is Dragon Ball Z Sparking Zero.
okay, yeah. You played that. I didn't. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun. It's, like, just a super fun fighting game.
Fighting.
Yeah, fighting game, but, I mean, yeah, it's, like, brings you back to your childhood. Super fun, like, there's all the characters that you can play, basically. Yeah, just a good time all in all. And then my other honorable mention technically didn't come out in 2024, but it came out like December of 2023, and that is God of War Valhalla.
Yeah, that
That's like
counts. That counts.
yeah.
I'm
I
gonna
mean
give that.
it
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it technically is just like a little extra game mode, but like I
Mhm.
basically played it as like a full game and I have like all of the trophies for that DLC content.
Do you have the platinum for Valhalla itself?
Yeah,
You have the plat?
yeah,
What
I've got the plot.
Okay, okay. What difficulty do you play it on?
I think I had to drop the difficulty for like the
You dropped the
for what's it
difficulty
called?
for the Valkyrie Queen, huh?
Yeah, for the Valkyrie
Oh
Queen.
my
Yeah,
god, do you know I fought her for 3 days, bro? I did not drop the difficulty, I fought her for 3 days. That was the most brutal boss fight ever. I haven't even fought anything that hard on Dark Souls or
dude,
Elden Ring, bro.
it
That
is
was insane, bro.
hard.
That was so hard.
Yeah,
That's
I think I gave it a try for like one day, and I was like, I gotta move on with my life.
What'd you play the
Drop
game
the
on?
yeah.
What difficulty did you play the game on?
I think just the normal difficulty.
And then you had to drop it?
Yeah, man, it was freaking hard. You know
I
who else was super hard in that? The last Viking ghost thing.
there's like 13 of them, right? The
Yeah, or
berserkers
something
or whatever.
ridiculous. It's
What
like
are they
the
called?
one where there's 2 of them is, like, super annoying,
There was a
and then
few
the
of them
last
that were
one
like super annoying for some reason, and then some of them that I'd beat on my first try.
yeah, like, some of them were super easy, and then some of them, like, I don't know what it is, but, like, the combos just, like, really destroy you.
Yeah, yeah. I played that on the second hardest difficulty the whole game and
Yeah.
did not drop it for that boss. Bro, you don't understand how many times I got her down to 1 HP. That was insane. I
Yeah.
tried to do the same thing for the first God of War. I could not beat that Valkyrie Queen. That's the only trophy I'm missing for the platinum on the first God of War.
You gonna play for 3 days again?
I should have played it after I played Valhalla because then I would have naturally had that
Yeah, yeah,
like
the
muscle
muscle.
memory, but now it's like, oh, it's gone now. I gotta like reset. Yeah. So I don't know how people play that game on Give Me God of War. That's insane. Or get that
Yeah,
tro. Oh,
it's insane
she's
to me.
so hard, man. Yeah. I gotta go back and play Vikings Valhalla. I played it for probably 4 hours or something.
Like
Yeah.
the game mode, the DLC?
Yeah, the DLC. I should probably go back
Yeah,
and play it.
the ending is really, like, good for that. It's very
Mm,
bittersweet.
okay. I might just reset it, start it from the start because I don't really remember too much.
Nah, just watch, like, the quick cutscene for it because basically you're gonna have to go through quite a few runs for it anyways.
Yeah, to pick up.
Yeah.
Okay, I have 5 honorable mentions. One of them I mentioned, Hellblade 2, Senua's Saga. My first honorable mention is Thank Goodness You're Here. That is the kind of 2D cartoonish drawn light puzzle platformer, where you're kind of this little guy who walks around this kind of decrepit old town in northern England. And it's just kind of a celebration of everything that's like Northern English in kind of a cheery, mocking way. And you just go around and you help the people of the town in very unconventional ways that are super creative, super funny. And and they're always like, thank goodness you're here. And it's like all this like little, I mean, I'd be if you're from Northern England, it'd probably be like the humor would make more sense to you for sure, and the dialect. But I enjoyed this game so much. I got my wife to play it too recently. It's about, I want to say, a 3, 4, 5 hour game maybe,
Yeah.
and it's just a wonderful joy. Like you'll be laughing the whole time. Um, and yeah, you just go around and you slap things and you do specific things, and it's just this funny like kind of, and you keep meeting these same people from the town over and over again. Genius game. I loved it so much. Second honorable mention is to Neva. Neva's game we both played. I'm surprised it's not on your honorable mention. Neva. So I mentioned Gris at the top of the show as like a retrospective game. So I played Gris this year. Um, and then I immediately, like not immediately because Neva wasn't out just yet, but I loved Gris so much. I was like, yo, I'm gonna play this Neva game when it comes out. Wonderful game, man. I love the watercolor painted art, whatever you want to call it. I love the platforming. I love the puzzles. Um, no dialogue. It just tells a story without the dialogue, just environmental storytelling. I love the music, love the colors. So beautiful. I love everything the studio does. I can't wait till their next game. Um, Next would be Braid Anniversary Edition. I played this recently. It did come out in like May. So this is the remaster of a classic kind of one of the OG indie games from the Xbox arcade days, which I actually wasn't aware of,
Mhm.
and only became aware of it when this remaster came out. Yeah, I kind of was on my radar, picked it up from the PlayStation Store. I think it was like 10, $12 or something, went on sale. Um, like wonderful puzzle platformer. This remaster is a little bit pretentious, I think. Like there's a whole like 15-hour commentary for an otherwise like 6-hour
What?
game. Yeah, there's like a commentary mode that they added as part of the remaster. And the commentary mode has like commentary about everything in the game, but also has additional puzzles than the base thing. I literally just ran around and did all the puzzles. Like
Yeah.
I wouldn't even listen to the commentary. I would only like press on the commentary spots just to make sure like it like check marks it so I know which places I've visited for the main
So you
puzzle.
use it as a tool
Yeah,
for
for a guide as like a tool puzzle. Yeah,
That's
but
funny.
the game is like genius. It's a genius puzzle platformer. It's more of a puzzle game than a platformer, but I cannot recommend this enough if you're into kind of a brain tickler and at the same time into platforming. And I tried to like 100% it. There's one trophy I didn't get. You're supposed to like speed the run of the game in 45 minutes. I'm like absolutely not. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But otherwise I did everything. I did get like very close to the end of the game. I think there was like 5 or 6 puzzle pieces where I'm like, "Yo, bro, I can't figure these out. I don't know how I'm gonna get these." And then I like pushed through and eventually got them without looking at a guide. Um, so that is Braid Anniversary Edition. And then the last honorable mention, which actually came in OT right now, and I've been playing like crazy, is Marvel's Rivals.
Yeah.
I first few days, I'm not a hero shooter guy. I don't really play hero shooters. First few days of Marvel's Rivals, I was like, what the hell is this game? Get the hell out of here. I'm not playing this game. Like I played it for like 2 days with the boys. I'm like, this kind of just feels brain dead. But then I was like, okay, let me give this an honest chance. Let me try all the characters, every single one, all the tanks, all the DPS, all the healers, and actually read what each of their abilities to and try them for at least one game, try to figure out how they play. And like now I'm literally maining a guy who I was like poo-pooing on the first time I picked him up. I'm like, this guy's useless. Now I'm like insane with him.
Who is it?
He's called Namor. I don't
Namor.
even know what IP he's from, to be honest with you. Uh is the character appearing
Neymar?
Namor. No, Namor.
Yeah, Neymar.
Namor.
He's
Namor.
he's in
Is he Namor? Is that actually his name?
yeah, he's in Black Panther 2.
Is that actually how you pronounce his name? Like the soccer
Yeah,
player
I'm pretty
Namor?
sure it's Neymar.
It's Namor. Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, he's in Black Panther Wakanda Forever.
Yeah.
Looks like.
Just got to watch the movie so I can figure out how to pronounce his name.
Yeah. Anyway, he's literally the guy I'm maining. The other guy is I'm maining is Luna Snow as a healer and Star Lord.
Mm,
Yeah. So uh fun game, man. I didn't really think I'd be into hero shooter at all, but we've been getting on every single night like clockwork, and it's
yeah,
just
yeah.
go go go.
I hear it's destroying Overwatch 2.
Really? There's like I heard there's like 400,000 concurrent players
Yeah,
on Marvel's
it's
Rivals right now.
it's crazy. Yeah, it's like big.
It's super fun. Yeah. I can't recommend it enough, I think. Even if you're not really into that genre,
Mm,
just hop in. I don't know if it'd be tough playing without like too many friends. I feel like you need like good
yeah.
squad to communicate. Yeah. All right, man. Enough chitter chatter. Time to reveal what this is all about. Our 2024 games of the year. Without further ado, Derwin, what is your number 5
So
game of the
this is
year?
your honorable mention. I
Okay.
put number 5 as Neva.
Ooh, I thought this was. I'm like he didn't mention it in honorable mention. I'm like, really? He didn't. I thought he liked it.
I
I
did
didn't think it
like
would
it.
make your game list. Yeah,
So technically I was like humming and hawing because I like Space Marine because I only played like the story mode. Like
yeah.
I'm perfectly fine with like just I do have to preface it as like this is Space Marine 2 was like the first game coming back to PC gaming. So like it's got some good memories, and I like the gameplay. So
Yeah.
it was between this and Neva, but like end of the day, I think I just enjoyed Neva a little bit more. Like it's just different.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm glad I got you on that. I didn't think you'd get to play an indie game like that, did you, huh?
Yeah, no, I was surprised. I was surprised I really liked it too.
Now I'm gonna get you on that indie lifestyle. Every time there's an indie game, don't worry, man. I'm gonna put them all on your radar.
All right.
Now you're gonna it's that's indie games is gonna be the real microtransaction. That's the 10, 20,
Yeah, yeah.
15, $30 microtransaction is the indie game.
What is your number 5?
My number 5. Holy smokes. I think this might be number 1 if I kept playing it some more, but I just haven't had enough time with it. Number 5 is Balatro. I did not think this game is something else, man. Oh my god. Balatro, Balatro, Balatro. Who would have thought a card game based on poker hands could be so genius, so fun, so addicting? It's insane, man. I love this game so much. I
Number
can't
5,
emphasize.
hey?
Yeah, I can't.
Interesting.
Yeah. This is gonna be like your number 1, right? Oh my god, it'd be insane. This is
It's up there.
oh, okay, okay, sweet, sweet, sweet. All right, then I won't talk too much. But yeah, I mean, we talked about Balatro previous episodes. This game is insane. Listen, like even if you're not that into gaming or you're just getting back into gaming, maybe you're listening to the show because you're just trying to support us. But uh Balatro, man, even if you don't have any video game console, I'm sure you have a smartphone. Download it on your smartphone. It's very simple, very easy to play. It's not complicated. You don't need to be like master strategist or something, but it's super fun. Great game.
Yeah.
Derwin, what is your number 4 game of the year?
Number 4 is Metaphor Refantasio.
Nice, nice,
Yes.
nice.
Yeah, yeah. So,
Yeah.
like, we were talking about it before, like, I don't know, like, the first hour, I wanna say, is, like, this game's, like, a little bit weird. Like, it's not it is like Persona, but it's also not like Persona. But then, like, there's just something about the gameplay that, like, once you start going and it's, like, got a bit more of an open world, it's not like Persona where you every single fight, you have to, like, get into the whole turn-based thing. There's, like, parts to it where you can just kinda, like, hit the enemy and it dies right away and you get your points. But, like, yeah, there's just something addicting about the gameplay that I went from, like, 1 hour to, like, 20 hours in, like, 3 or 4 days.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Would you say the dialogue is a little cringe like Persona
Oh,
games?
yeah, like, honestly, I enjoy the Persona dialogue because I feel like the, character design is a little bit more, like, fun
Yeah, yeah. And the
versus, like, seeing some of the cringy, like,
I thought they were trying to make it
oh,
Game of Thronesy sort of.
I don't know if it's Game of Thrones-y, but it's like, you know, you look at the character design for, like, one of the people, and then you, like, look at the Persona 5 character design, and it's clearly, like, copy the homework, but then change it up a little bit. Especially the first partner that you meet, you're like, "Dude, this is exactly Ryuji from Persona 5."
That's
And
funny,
then
man.
there's, like, I don't think she's she looks like a rabbit, but I'm understanding that she's actually technically not a rabbit girl, she's, like, another animal or something like that, and you're like, "That looks exactly like Panther or whatever from Persona 5 as well."
Yeah. I feel like I didn't mind Persona 5 dialogue, but I felt like Persona 3 and Persona 4 was so cringe. I just
Yeah.
couldn't do it. I couldn't sit through it. Yeah. So I wonder about Metaphor. Maybe one day. Maybe I think I might play that prologue demo. My number 4 game of the year is Call of Duty Black Ops 6. I cannot
Okay.
I by the way, I cannot believe there's a Call of Duty game on my game of the year. Insane. Call of Duty Black Ops 6. First game on Game Pass from the Call of Duty series after the Xbox Microsoft purchase of Activision Blizzard.
Mhm.
It was a good Call of Duty too. The campaign was great. This is the first time I played Call of Duty campaign since Black Ops 2, I want to say. Campaign was good. There was a lot of, like, it wasn't just, like, this run and gun shoot kinda game. There was a lot of, like, felt like Hitman-like missions, and there was, like, some stealth, and you could do missions in different ways. It was non-linear. The missions were very different from each other. There's one where you're at the hall where the senator's speaking. There's the one where you infiltrate, like, the Russian base. There was the whole zombie mission where you're hallucinating. Like, insane. And then like, there was the open world one in Iraq where you're going around on a Humvee and you're doing specific points. So like, creative missions, different missions, good campaign story. uh yeah, it wasn't that it's not like it's a Call of Duty game at the end of the day, but I thought it was a solid campaign. And then I thought the multiplayer was great. I enjoyed it so much. I don't know what it was. It felt like the shooting was so good. Felt like the weapons were good. Didn't feel like there was anything too broken. I liked most of the maps for the most part. I feel like as you play more Call of Duty, I feel like you start hating the maps anyway. Because then,
Mhm.
like, people
Yeah.
start figuring out specific, like, things about spawn trapping and stuff like that, and then it becomes a mess. Played it religiously with my friends for like a month, maybe, like, every day on Call of Duty. Was a great time. Tried Warzone a little bit. I'm still waiting. Like, there was the big Warzone update for Black Ops 6. I don't think it was that interesting. It was like on a map I already knew, and it was kind of like whatever. I really didn't get into the Warzone. I did. Yeah. The other thing I haven't tried is the zombies, and I heard that was really good. So this is making it to my number four without the me even trying the zombies. Maybe no, I don't know. It won't be higher. This is it. This is the limit. Yeah. So Call of Duty Black Ops 6, I enjoyed it. Glad I didn't have to pay like $90 for it. Got on
Yeah.
Game Pass and played some other games on Game Pass with that membership that I had too. So
Yeah. Didn't follow your plan though.
what was the plan? Yeah, my
No,
plan was to play Microsoft Flight Sim after, and then Stalker 2,
yeah.
and then
And
play
those is
Indiana Jones after. I'm still gonna play Indiana Jones, but I think I'm gonna skip Stalker 2, at least for now.
yeah.
Especially since patches are still coming in fixing all the bugs on that game. So
Mhm.
Derwin, what is your number three game of the year for 2024?
This one's kind of a cop out.
No, come on.
It is
What is it?
Horizon Zero Dawn Remaster.
You did it. I knew you were gonna do it. I'm like, this guy's not gonna do it. Oh my god.
Oh, you knew it was coming.
Oh my god. I did not know it was coming. I did not think you were gonna do this. I did not
I
think
was
you were gonna
thinking
do
about
this.
it. I'm like, do I really include this? Like,
Oh
this
my
is technically a game that came out like
god. This is a game that came
however
out,
many years
bro.
ago.
If
But
I
if Naughty Dog can do it, I'm doing it.
You know what? Listen, okay, I'll give you an excuse here. I put Braid on my honorable mentions. The original Braid came out in 2009, and this
Yeah.
is Braid Anniversary Edition is a remaster. So if I'm gonna hate on you for putting Horizon on your list, I should have put Braid on my retrospective.
But technically, you didn't play the original Braid, did you?
No,
I
no,
mean,
I
I
didn't.
played the original.
Well, tell us, why it is Horizon number three? Why is it better than Neva? And what was your number four? Forgot your number four.
Metaphor.
Metaphor. Why
I
is
don't
a
know.
rem-
I don't know what it is with these games. I just like enjoy exploring the world. You know, they upgraded everything. It's very pretty.
Listen, I will accept this ranking if you say right now, live, that you love the Horizon franchise. Not like Horizon. I like Horizon. It's okay. No, do you love Horizon or not?
Depends. Okay, what if the multiplayer comes out next year or in 2
No, no, no,
years
no,
and
no,
it
no.
sucks
Based
ass?
on right now, based on Horizon Zero Dawn, Horizon Forbidden West.
Yeah, sure. I love the franchise.
Okay, I'm glad. I'm glad you admit it. Yeah, that's a big gap in my video gaming knowledge. Horizon, man, need to get into that. Need to try those games.
Yeah, and Batman. Dude, you need to do Batman first.
Bro, I need to do Batman. I need to do Bioshock. I think Bioshock's first. I need to do. I was gonna do Dragon Age, but I'm not doing Dragon Age anymore because of
Yeah.
the.
Honestly, I've played a bunch of the BioShock too. I think I prefer Batman more.
Yeah.
Although you do have to, like, be a little bit mindful, like,
Of the age, I understand.
not of the age, but, like, dude, Joker is literally the villain in, like, what, like, 3 of the 4
Games?
games or something like that. I can't remember. I'd have to, like, literally probably rethink through all of it, but, like, technically Origins is Joker, original Batman Arkham Asylum is Joker, Arkham City is it Joker? I can't remember.
Wait, wait, wait. So should I play Suicide Squad 2 as well? As part
No.
of the
They're ending support for
and
that.
Gotham Knights?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh god, oh man. Gotham Knights, I literally was kind of excited for, and then I saw the reviews, then the price dropped instantly, and then I saw it on Game Pass. I played the first level and I was like, "This is garbage." And I turned it off. So bad.
Well, there you have it, folks. Derwin did it and put a remaster as his number 3 game of the year. Yeah. My number 3 game of the year, now in hindsight, because you did what you just did right now, feels I feel less bad about it. I actually don't feel bad about it at all. My number 3 game of the year is Elden Ring: Shadow of the Earth Tree.
Hmm.
This was very tough. Between this and my number 2 and my number 1 was very tough. My feelings were back and forth, but I kind of settled for this and I'm happy with the way I put it. Elden Ring: Shadow of the Earth Tree. First of all, man, forget everything you told me about Batman and Horizon and all these other games. You have not played Elden Ring yet. Your video game life is incomplete. Elden Ring is one of the greatest RPGs of all time, if not greatest games of all time. And this DLC just tops it off. This not only was one of my best games I've played, it was one of my best gaming experiences. When this dropped, my friend, shout out to Hamzi, we both took a day off of work. I used a vacation day for this. It dropped on a Friday. I think my wife was my wife still working at the time? She would have. I think she went to work, took the little guy to my parents' house. My friend came over with his PlayStation 5 at like 8 in the morning on a Friday. We hooked up and we LAN partied the first, like, up to the first boss of this game together. And then just played the game. We were on Discord every night till like we both got through it. He got through a lot faster than I did. But man, like this DLC was amazing. It could be it's as big as any standalone game. It could be a standalone game itself, to be honest with you. If they wanted to sell this as a spin-off to Elden Ring, it would have totally worked. They would have just had to adjust a few things with like your equipment and your the leveling and the enemy power and all that kind of stuff, but like it was spectacular. I do have some gripes with it. I think they tried to do this thing where they tried to correct an issue they had in the first game where if you were brain dead like me and literally did every single side thing in the base game, once you get later on in the game, you realize that their whole kind of what appears to be their uniqueness, like it seemed like in the beginning of the game, everything was unique. Every cave you went into, every dungeon you went into had a different boss. It seemed like you were fighting but then after you get to the end game, if you've already done a lot of the side stuff in the beginning of the game, you realize actually I'm seeing the same enemies, I'm seeing the same bosses, I'm seeing the same gimmicks.
Mhm.
A lot of these dungeons are just repeats. They're not very interesting. In this game, they kind of toned it down with the open world things. Like there's not as much caves, there's not as much dungeons, there's not as much mines, there's not as much field bosses. But then there's the ones that do exist are higher quality. Like it's a higher quality dungeon or cave. Like it's more complex. It's more. There's more things to do left, right, and center. It's more intricate. So from that perspective, I liked it. But the thing they did was the world had a lot of nothingness in it. There was a lot of places that didn't have anything, and I played it the same way I played the original Elden Ring, where I was looking around for everything, and you'd always see stuff. But in the DLC, it felt like there was a lot of nothingness. Um, but the way the world worked in the DLC was insane. It was so insane. Like the way how the world is like leveled into different elevations and the way you access some places are not obvious. They're inaccessible unless you go through some tunnel system to come out the other side. Or like just the discovery of trying to get from point A to point B. You'd look and be like, how am I supposed to get here? It looks like I'm just supposed to go here. Why am I not figuring this out? Why can't I get here? But the way to get here is like this, like unless you actually explore, you'd have to read a guide otherwise to figure it out. And the environments and all that kind of stuff. Obviously, new enemy variety, new weapons. I liked a lot of the new weapons. The bosses were genius and they were like upping it up a notch compared to the base game bosses. Like there were some difficult bosses in there. I still haven't beat the final boss on the DLC. Like that guy was ridiculous. I played him like 2, 3 times and I'm like, nope, I'm done. I'm out. And
You're dead.
yeah, the castles, like I'm a type of guy. A lot of people, a lot of FromSoft bros, they really like these games for the difficulty and they really like them for like beating a boss or doing that kind of stuff. I feel like I'm one of the only people who like my favorite thing about these games is actually the exploration, especially like the castles and the dungeons. It's like this linear, non-linear system of like you could take this door left or you could take this door right or you could go up these stairs and I just enjoy choosing to go a specific path and trying to remember the way I went and seeing how it all connects to each other because then you could like unlock shortcuts to get to some places faster. And then you could actually, once you've like invested the time to try and explore a full castle and you finally understand how it works and finally understand how this pathway is connected to this and how this leads to this, it just becomes like, oh my God, this is like so interesting. It just, and then there was a couple of castles in there that were like even topped some of the stuff in the base game or were on par with it. So, like, yeah, I love that game. It was just wonderful. I love the DLC. I'm looking forward to this Night Rain thing just because it's co-op, but we'll see. I'm looking forward to this next game from Software. Um,
If not, just consider this the sequel and call it a day.
yeah. I mean, listen, if you, I can't recommend this game enough. I know it might have a difficult entry point because it's not like a lot of the standard AAA games in the industry. They don't do a lot of the standard things. And so that might be difficult for some people to get into, but like it's once you get into it, it's like, wow, this is genius. And people who are scared away from the difficulty, I feel like Elden Ring does this thing because it's open world. You're not forced to go down one path. You could always choose like different routes to take and you could fight easier enemies and do easier tasks to try and upgrade your stuff so that when you come back you can do things easier. I actually did that, and a lot of the times I actually kind of broke the game because I'd come back to areas where I felt like I was a little weak, and then I was overpowered and just like destroying everyone. Yeah, yeah. So that's Elden Ring: Shadow of the Earth Tree is my number three. Derwin, what is your number two game of the year?
It is Balatro.
Wow,
Literally, what is it?
in a
You
week,
introduced it to me
two
like
weeks,
what, 2 weeks ago? Two
2
weeks
weeks
ago,
ago. Yeah.
and it's number two on my list.
Oh my god. When was the Game Awards? I think it was the yeah, it was 2 Thursdays ago. It hasn't even been 2 weeks.
Yeah, not even 2 weeks. And it's like I just like how easy it is that you can pick it up like anytime you want. You don't have to like boot up your computer. Man, maybe I'm turning into a mobile gamer.
Yeah,
Like,
Wuthering
you just
Waves
hop
is number
in.
one.
Like, there's no like barrier to entry. Like, you're bored, just
It's
pull it up on your phone, play around or whatever. Play half a round and then put it away because you got something to do, and then you
come
can come
back.
back to it.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like it doesn't change. Like, you can literally like play it like 6 hours later and
yeah.
still know where you're at and where you're going. Right?
And it's just insane discovering new jokers every run and being like, "Oh, this is the broken build. Oh, this is the broken build." And
Yeah,
you're just
yeah.
like, "Yeah, yeah." It's
Yeah, all the builds are like slightly different.
you don't know the path you're gonna take. You
Yeah,
might start the game and then you end up on a path where it's like, "I'm only doing flushes now. I'm only doing flushes because I got these jokers that let me do flushes easier or whatever." And now
yeah, yeah. Really, it's like you have to like capitalize on what the game gives you in terms of like a draw or whatever.
yeah. I mean, I had a run the other day. Like, look at this. I had a Joker card that I usually would read this, but like, I'm not buying this. I'm not wasting a Joker slot. Bought it on a whim. The Joker basically increases $3 in resale value for every round it's
Oh,
not
yeah, yeah, yeah.
sold. That's it. Like, I'm like, okay, I'll just hold on to this. Maybe eventually I'll need a lot of money. I'll sell it. What do I get the next round? A Joker that adds a multiplier
For
based on the
on
resale
on the
value
price
of your
of all the
Jokers.
cards, right? Yeah.
And I just held on to it. And this one's like building up price and it's at like 53. So I'm getting like a 50, like whatever the cost of the
Mhm.
other one's like a 60 multiplier every freaking round. And it's, yeah, Balatro
Yeah,
is
yeah.
genius.
I think that brought me so that combo, brought me to, I think, ante 7, and I lost at one of the bosses.
That's literally what happened.
Dude.
The boss that I got wouldn't let me redraw. That was the boss.
Oh, yeah.
You couldn't discard, and I just luck of the draw, I just had garbage hands. Like, my first hand, I had a high card.
Mhm.
My second one, I had, like, a pair or something, and it was just like, "Okay, I lost this. There's no way."
Yeah, I think my most hated one is, like, you have to beat it in, like, one hand. That's fine for, like, the easier, like, antes, but, like, dude, ante 7, and it's, like, what? Like,
You have
80,000 or 96,000 points for your boss blind, and you have to do it in, like, one hand, and you're like,
oh, it doesn't mean you have to do it in one hand, it means you have to do it using only the same, like, you can only use straights.
"No, no, there's one where you only get one hand to beat
You're
the boss."
joking.
Yeah.
Dude, there's, like, a coupon that lets you disarm the boss blind.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen it a few times, but, like, I, like, pick it up, but then, like, the boss ends up being too easy, or then I use
And
it on
then I
something
lose on a
dumb.
random round, not even on the boss round, and then
Yeah,
I don't end up using it. Yeah.
yeah.
Balatro, Balatro. All right,
What
man.
is your number 2?
My number 2 game of the year is this was very difficult between these 2. Very difficult. But my number 2 is Astrobot.
Oh.
My number 2 is Astrobot. Astrobot is a wonderful game. Um, this is like one of the best 3D platformers I've played in a long time. I mean, it's up there with like Mario Odyssey for sure. I don't even, this game is just like, it's genius. Like, the dual sense. Like, I mean, if you really want a taste of what this game is, go play Astro's Playroom, which is downloaded on every PS5 that you buy. It's just a taste of what this game has to offer. This game just ups it up a notch. It's insane. It's so wonderful. I cannot recommend this enough. Like, the dual sense, the haptic feedback, the actual levels themselves, the way that you have like a gimmick every level with a different like astrobot ability, the music, the art style, the sounds, the audio design, everything is just insane. It's so good. I wish it just was a little bit difficult on some of the optional levels. That would have been nice as a more of a challenge. But uh, and then if you want to play with your kid, like my kid loved it. He still comes down every day, wants to play this game every single day. He loves Astrobot. It's insane. Like, I can't recommend this game enough. If you have a PS5, honestly, it's not that much of a commitment. It's a $30-$40 game. I promise you the 20 hours you're going to spend with it are worth 10 times more than the 20 hours you're going to spend playing your same old brain dead free to play game that you play every day. You know what I mean? It's going to be better than the next 20 hours you play a Fortnite or Apex or whatever Call of Duty. Like, just give this game a try. It's so good. And if
Yeah.
you're not sure, just give Astro's Playroom a try. I mean, it's on everyone's console, or you might have deleted it, download it back. Yeah, man, I don't have anything else to say. You had it on your missed games. I think it is a missed game for you. You should give it a try.
Yeah.
You could
It
borrow
is
my copy if you want to play it on PS5.
$64
You
on
could borrow my
Amazon right
copy if you
now.
want to play it on PS5. So
Yeah. Maybe we'll give you a break from from that guy.
I don't think it'll matter. My kid will just be confused. He wants to play it. All right, man.
Not gonna lie, this whole time I'm, like, thinking about what is your number 1?
Yeah.
And I don't know what you're gonna say for your number 1.
I don't know what you're gonna say for yours. I'm so confused now.
Really? You don't know what I'm gonna say
Let me
is
no,
my
no,
number
think let
one?
me think let me think here. Let me think here. Oh, I know what your number 1 is, never mind, go
Yeah.
ahead. Yeah, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Alright.
it is Stellar Blade. Just kidding.
What?
It is obviously Black Myth Wukong.
Black Myth Wukong.
Yeah,
Oh my god. You played this game 5 times, was it?
I'm still playing this game.
How many playthroughs?
I haven't increased the amount of playthroughs, but I'm just going slowly through the new DLC content or the boss rush mode at this point.
Insane, man. Insane. Yeah. I mean, this is the game I missed, right? In reverse with
Yeah,
Astrobot,
yeah,
right? I mean, a game looked like it actually met all expectations.
yeah.
Combat seems to be fun.
Dude, this new boss mode is like kind of brutal though.
Yeah, I imagine.
Yeah. So like all the bosses, like you obviously want to beat them in like the hardest difficulty, but like they're all like HP sponges now, and like everything like almost basically one shots you.
That's tough. Sounds
Yeah,
like the Valkyrie Queen.
like yeah, like one hit takes you to like under half HP almost sometimes, depending on like what type of hit it is, and then the second hit like will kill you for the most part. Yeah, it's rough. I think I've beaten like 3 or 4 of the bosses on like the highest difficulty, but I want to try and like clear area by area kind of
What's
deal.
the boss rush mode? Do you just fight all the bosses? Aren't there like 90 bosses in this game?
Yeah, so one of the modes is you basically just refight the bosses. They have new like attacks or like different timings or whatever for their attack. And then the other one is like you play through the bosses, but then like there's curses or something that you can use or goes against you or something like that. So it just makes it to be like difficult. I haven't tried the other mode yet. I was gonna like tackle one mode and then do the other, but we'll see how it goes. I think I just got like discouraged by the amount of HP that some of them have, and like your attacks basically like do zero damage
I
to
hate
them.
HP. I hate HP sponge bosses, yeah, or enemies, yeah, in a
Yeah,
game.
yeah. I mean, like, I get it if it's like they have a decent amount of like health, but like, come on. Like
Yeah.
hitting them with everything and like they're what at like a third health or like their health has only gone down by like a third or whatever. It's rough.
Yeah, that's rough. Black Myth
But
Wukong, man. Looks like a beautiful game. Looks like the bosses are all like creative. The boss design is all interesting. The world design, the chapter select videos, like the
mhm,
longer cutscene at the end
yeah,
of the chapter.
they added maps now too. So it's like every single area has like map and it's like
Oh, that's
drawn out
important.
in like the Chinese like style. Like you
Yeah.
know how like I guess
Y-
like Chinese watercolor
Yeah,
paintings.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
kind of looks like that.
stylistically, yeah. 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 That's interesting, man. Yeah, I know a lot of people are complaining about maps.
Yeah, but they got it.
They got them now. That's cool.
All right, what is your number one?
Come on, man. You haven't figured it out yet.
No, I'm trying to think. It's not Astrobot.
I mentioned it at the top of the show.
Did you?
You mentioned it.
I mentioned it.
It's somewhere on one of your lists.
Man.
Ladies and gentlemen, Iraqi Balboa's number 1 game of the year for 2024 is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which
That's
is the
crazy that
Derwinator's biggest disappointment.
that's
I,
crazy. Literally
dude,
didn't make it onto my list.
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Uh, I mean, like, I like this. This is these games are like not meant for me on paper. Like weeb stuff, JRPG stuff, these kind of characters. I'm just like, this is just some cringe, edgy anime teen stuff. You know, like this is not for me. But I mean, I played Final Fantasy 16 last year. I liked it a lot. And then, I had a friend who was like, "Man, you're gonna like Final Fantasy 7 more. Final Fantasy 7's a better game." So I was like, "You know what? Why not?" So I played Remake. I loved Remake. I pre-ordered Rebirth. Got right in. I mean, dude, this game is such a gem. It's just it has so much charm. I can't, I can't, I can't praise it enough. Like with the expansion of the world, I mean, besides some of the garbage open world missions and the kind of, I feel like they could have cut it down a bit in size from all those extra open world stuff. Like otherwise, I mean, like the combat. Who would have even thought doing this weird menu turn-based combat that's not turn-based because it's real time? This hybrid. Who would have thought you could like make it so amazing with all the synergy abilities and just up it a notch from Final Fantasy 7 remake? Like the combat is so satisfying. The characters, the character development, um, each person and their story. Barrett, Tifa, Yuffie, Aerith, like Red 13. Um, I mean, even the Scottish guy, what's his name? I forgot his name. Um, like it's just I don't even like the charm in this game. It's so weird. Like it's like who even thought about making this game? Like who like creatively? How do you even put all these things together? You're like these environmental terrorists per se, but you're fighting this like big corporation, but then there's also this like whole bigger like fantasy meta about saving the world, but then at the same time you're just like these average people that get thrown into this thing and just yeah, and then you go to all these towns and like it's just and the creativity like you go to the what's the beach town and you're doing these beach activities and it's so like
Yeah, you're
weird.
riding the segways.
And then you go to the Golden Saucer and you're like, what the heck is this? But then you're like some mining town in the cave in some mountains, and you're like it's I can't even explain it to someone. It's like I don't even know what to tell you, but like the creativity's there, the characters are there. I mean, these mini games, like, dude, if Balatro is my number 5, my number 6 is Queen's Blood. Like, I loved that card game. I played every single Queen's Blood match I could play. I was addicted to that. Man, I mean, like the music, dude, the music was so good. I did, like I still think about that soundtrack. I could close my eyes right now and it just plays like, Tifa theme or whatever. I mean, it was like tough between Astrobot and between Elden Ring Shadow of the Earth Tree and this game. Only think it was tough because I played those games after this, and like maybe there's more distance wise, like
Mhm.
memory. I feel like if I
Yeah.
played it now, it wouldn't even be a question. I just, I just loved this game so much. It was insane. It was like one of the best open worlds I've played. Like, and I try to avoid these things like the plague now. I don't got 150 hours anymore to kill in a game like I used to. Like that's why I'm just playing these like 5 hour indies. But this was completely different for me. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sad that it was a disappointment for you and it didn't click with you the way it clicked with me. But yeah, Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth was just something else, and I'm looking forward to the third of this entry. I'm super excited for it whenever it comes out. It's gonna be a day one cop. It's gonna be everything get out of the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder what the timeline is for that.
I mean, if the timeline is like what it was with the first and second game, it'll be 4 years. They were about 3 years and like 2 months apart, I think.
That's
3 years
that's
and 10
heading
months
towards
apart.
PS6 release, right?
It'll probably be like
Yeah,
Final Fantasy 7
across.
remake. It'll come out on PS6 or PS5, and then maybe they'll have a
Yeah, yeah.
remake intergrade like PS6 version. Yeah,
Yeah, or they'll make like a bundled edition, like the PS6 Ultimate
yeah.
Collector's Edition or whatever.
But then okay, yeah. So I don't know, man. I can't. I love this game. I I I literally want to go play it right now again. Even though I have like nothing to do in it. I have a few things left to do in it, but they're They're very challenging, very hard. Like this platinum is not fair. Um, okay, so we gone through our list. What is our collective game of the year? I think we only have one thing on the list that's in common with both of us. I have Balatro, Black Ops 6, Elden Ring, Shadow of the Earth Tree, Astrobot, Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth.
Yeah, I think it's this Balatro,
Balatro is our first
our
game of the year.
collective game.
Damn. There it is, folks. Our 2024 game of the year. Balatro. Oh man, that was fun. It
Yeah.
was nice talking with you.
All
And
right.
I love this episode, man. This was exciting stuff. Too bad
Yeah.
we're gonna run out of special episodes. We'll do like a recap of 2024 episode, then we'll do an anticipated 2025, but then we're gonna run out. We're gonna have to go back to news cycle talking
Mhm.
about Ubisoft.
We should still cover our trophy profiles.
Yeah. We're gonna cover Ubisoft. Don't kid yourself. That's all we're gonna cover. Yeah.
Yes, of course. Our beloved companies.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us, guys. Don't forget to like on subscribe on Spotify or Apple Music or YouTube or wherever you like to listen or watch us. And follow us on our Instagram page, the SlowrunCast, where you'll get all the info on all our updates there. Maybe 2025 we'll start doing some reels. Yeah. Get some audience, get the Gen Zers on it.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for joining us, guys. And bye for now.